Yo, what's good, everyone? Hello, hello, hello. It is Monday. Means time for some good ass Gear Xrd Rev. I'm just looking at the bracket. One final look over before we start. Just needs to see one more person. It looks like, and then get go. Perfect that the thing dies there. I love Twitch watts, man. They just always explode for some reason. Alright, there we go. Process the check-ins. Almost 6-7, unlucky. Dude, that's unfortunate. Oh no. Alright, so for stream matches, let us do WhilemButter up against MobdoM. And let us do Zulck up against RazChan. For round 2, we'll do this one. I think. No, maybe. Yes, let's do this one. I think it could be a good match. We'll go up here maybe? Oh yeah, this one. We'll do this. We'll do this. If you're not on stream, you can go ahead and start your matches already while I do this. It's completely fine. Oops. Right. Perfect. Let me just send out ping, and then we are good to go. Yeah. Hope everyone had a nice Monday. Mine was pretty chill, so good for once. A little bit chill. Let me just this, and you can see I'm even on time today, which is crazy for me. In 2026, being on time, me? No way. All right. In any case, I already see my webcam is staring straight into my wall right now. Professional streamer. Alright, here we go. So yeah, let me get everything sorted for our first stream match, of course. Big one. WhilemButter. I noticed that WhilemButter, it's not somebody I know. I noticed they had some really good wins early on. So it was like 2 tournaments ago or something. It was kind of interesting seeing who they play, how good they are. And of course, as usual, reminder, we do have a match arena. It's a butter stream today, apparently. I got with me today. I don't know if this is a controversial choice. I'm a millennial, so I should prefer the white one. I really don't like the white monster. So today I got a selection of 2026 pineapple monster, sugar-free. Not sponsored. That one's kind of banger though. The pineapple one. Antonio. Can't believe it. The juiced one? Yeah. I think the juiced ones are okay. As a personally. It's not my favorite, I would say. sec. And if they... Alright. See, I thought so as well for Monster, right? Maybe I've just become, you know, here. But certain flavors are actually alright. And strangely enough, I would say the light ones for Monster are actually pretty good. See, Red Bull, I don't really like at all, like the flavor.
Welcome.
I think the flavored Monsters, they do sugar-free pretty well. Anyways. We have a Danish brand that's called like a booster. Those are like the banger one.
Okay, there we go. Oh, all right. Jesus. Sorry for jumping in out of nowhere. My power went out literally the moment I got that pain.
Perfect.
But anyways, how's it going, Ice?
That's good, man.
Yeah, not much. I'm just getting ready. Try to rush through this because it was a lot more chaotic to say the least. But hello, everybody. Welcome to yet another SaltyEU. It is going to be a fantastic time here in the European sector of the Guilty Gear Strive community. We are now 160, man. And the last time I was here, like when I first started, it was like right around the 80s. We're now double the capacity than we used to have.
Yeah, it's time moves fast. Yeah, I would say I think a month ago, what are they called in English actually? A fuse blew in my apartment because we started the microwave oven, the oven, and the coffee machine at the same time while I was streaming.
Ahorita voy a acabar todo. Solo estoy ocupado. Sorry.
So I can also relate.
Yeah, it's household related. Don't worry about it. But in any case, though, it has been fantastic. Like, especially with 2.0 coming around the corner, man. Like, we've got so many things to like look forward to, given the climate of the game. People really fleshing out the characters, and as per usual, the European sector of Guilty Gear has always been very, very fun. Purely because a lot of what's represented here is not very common in the North American side of things. So there's a lot more surprise, a lot more chaos to be had.
Yeah, and I'm always interested, right, in seeing, especially at the beginning of the tournament, what kind of players do we have. It's usually, you know, people, I always pick people that I'm not that familiar with. So it's always interested, right, seeing what some of these really great players that might not make top 8, what they're playing. And sometimes they even do, right, make top 8. Those surprises in there. Yeah. Be very, very interesting here.
There's always a lot of like real talent pool. Like the talent pool for EMEA, like, you know, your usual suspects. You have your Androsses. I mean, recently we airdropped Blue Heck over to the European side of things.
See, that's fate. Blue Heck was always European.
Yeah. And then you have your Tiger Pops, and every now and again, you know, you come around the corner, you see Zando pop in a few times here and there, but you know, getting that opportunity to be able to commentate a lot of the talent that's been rising through the ranks lately. I mean, we've been seeing lately a lot, like Venom has been showing up to the top 8 scene. We've seen Xandra starting to put in more performances, and we're seeing a lot more from Wanted Frankie, especially in the SaltyEU side. We're seeing a lot more players really come up through the ranks and really, you know, show their prowess as we come along with the tournament series, as well as like the scene itself. Just like the last year alone, we've seen so many new names and new faces just occupy the scene, and now they've become household names.
Yeah, absolutely. And we might just get 2 chances here for some new household names. They are French, which means, of course, that they are going to be banger at the game. It's going to be WhilemButter on P1 and MobdoM on P2. A.B.A is against Testament here.
Yeah, Zoner v Zoner, but the flexibility in which both these players are going to be wanting to go through with that is definitely a little bit more stringent when you consider what these two offer. Testament being more of a 2-step game plan, whereas Happy Chaos technically can operate with and without the game plan of Curse involved, but it is going to be a game of cat and mouse and just being able to snowball as soon as we get that moment started.
Yep. So here we go. And Happy Chaos are always so scary, right? We're starting right away with that Dark Souls mix-up. Just gonna get that roll in there. Alright.
Yeah, immediate burst from MobdoM. You do not want to let Happy Chaos get really going at the early going as well. Using that 2K to try and mash on out. Using the teleport to just set up that early mental stack. Already trying to implement that early movement option for Willem to have to deal with.
Yeah, already gonna get that low, and burst now spent for Willem as well. Not a lot of yep, gonna do the super to get the concentration back. But we are running low on bullets. Shouldn't matter too much here though, unless MobdoM can get out. No, sir.
Yeah, keeping that corner was probably the strongest option to go for there. The gravity scaling probably would have been too severe to even consider the wall break, and even after that, just keeping your resources close to your chest is definitely the best thing for Willem to do just in the long going. Because while the Happy Chaos is very much a very potent character in the neutral game, the one thing you do not want is to be caught without focus, especially without bullets.
Absolutely. But you know what? It doesn't matter as long as you have tension, right? You got that super. Gonna jump over here, and again, MobdoM finds himself in the corner. Very good way here to move out, and gonna do a little turnaround.
And Strova gonna be clinching it in real fast, gonna get that wall break as well. Stain State has been applied, but there are no resources coming in until positive bonus reaches in. We just got 50. We were able to cash it in off the overhead Arbiter sign, and now we force the burst out from Willem. We still have 50 meter on deck, but the 100 meter is the great equalizer as we go for the Phantom Roll.
Yeah, oh look at that. Oh, that sheep, man. How do you even block that? Oh no.
Just guess correct, man. That's just the way of the game. Unfortunately, same side mix really is the mental mix-up.
Yeesh. What's good, Volta? Yeah. So that's 1-0 Willem.
I need to get that code so that way I don't have to worry about that. Just the bit rate of the stream is messing with me a little bit. What's the code?
420, 420.
Ah, the dankest code there is. All right. Going into game number 2, I mean, we're seeing quite a little bit from MobdoM, but we're seeing a lot more potency from Willem at the moment, where Willem has just been able to make good on these like repeated exchanges, whereas MobdoM has had some really heavy hitting sequences.
Yeah, gonna again get to wall. We're just playing that slump meta now. Doesn't want to break the wall, just want to keep pressuring in, and makes a lot of sense here on the Happy Chaos again. This time though goes for the wall break, gonna get so much tension, and MobdoM in a heap of trouble, and yeah, that's just gonna straight up be it.
That's the kind of dangerous nature of Happy Chaos. You could just choose to engage and disengage at will, and when you have a backdash as fast as his is, it just becomes so much more daunting for MobdoM to have to reach on further and just find an opener. Nice crossover with the teleport, but we are now back to the wall, and we're going to go straight for that strike throw position. Willem has firmly taken control of the situation, but great tech on the throw.
Block right there, and again loading up with concentration. No bullets left though in the chamber, so gotta need to find the time to reload, and there we go, 3 bullets.
3 bullets to the name, but we do have 50 meter on deck. We're gonna mash it out with the bar slash in neutral, and we are able to just snip out with that low Arbiter. Willem just has to find a way to get that curse off. It is now applied. Now MobdoM is going to have to play a little bit of red light, green light, but as per usual, sometimes the greatest mix-up is just strike throw. Going to go with that full Calamity 1 to try and get some momentum rolling.
Pressuring in, good block of the overhead as well, just so ready, and is going to get game 2 as well here. Willem.
Games are rolling by a lot longer. I mean, that's just the nature of the early pool side, right? You get to have more games to watch, and you're not always going to get the strongest talent pool in the beginning, but sometimes you're going to see a lot more interesting faces, and as a result, you're going to get more interesting game plans. And Willem has been really in control when it comes to the strike throw portion of it. MobdoM has been very pivotal when it comes to that whiff punish game, but now we're going to be switching over to the Leo White Fang. Going to be more defensively oriented as opposed, and maybe just go a little bit more crazy in the neutral game with these whites.
Yeah, there we go, the king himself.
There it is, the early going. You get that first sign of the flash kick. Now Willem's going to have to be a little bit more cautious moving in, especially now that the parry has been involved. Gold burst to keep the corner, and now we got positive bonus rolling on in.
Yes, Ex Machina, gonna get that wall break. A lot of tension on the side of MobdoM though, but will that end up mattering? We're gonna see. Oh, okay. Saying you're trying to safe jump me?
That's the kind of mental stack that Leo Whiting has. The Lion concerns himself not with the mental gauges of safe jumping. I'm just gonna go for the wake up throw, and you're gonna do nothing but hold that.
Okay, wait a second. Just immediately gonna rush in, blocking the DP here. And no burst from MobdoM. Okay, saying, you know what, I'll give that round away. At that point, maybe I would have bursted. I don't know. It's hard to say, right? Because the life was quite equal.
I mean the tactical advantage of being able to hold on to the burst for the next round, especially when you're dealing with someone like Happy Chaos, he is going to refund your burst on a consistent basis. Maybe felt like it would have been better off for an emergency, but as it stands, they're on their last legs in the winner side of things. That roll cross up just be continuously barraging MobdoM. Even with the flash successful, we're still back in the blender.
In. PRC, there we go. The back turn mix-up gonna connect with the overhead as well. And look at that. Woo.
How quickly the tables turn, but that doesn't mean that the job is finished. You gotta keep steamrolling because as it stands, Willem has all the time in the world to be able to just make counter adaptations into the new character swap. And right now, as it stands, we're just gonna get that wall break, get that positive bonus, and on top of that, we're looking pretty good with the burst lead. Meteor, but the RC throw, but there's not really a lot of options left over for MobdoM now. Pixel Life and a Dream using that RC to push on forward, but the 2K mash catches the stagger, moving on into the winner side of things, continuously moving forward, while MobdoM, unfortunately, your compatriot of French nationality, is going to be moving down into the loser side.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a A.B.A win here. WhilemButter. Very nicely done. And that means our next match is going to be a Zulck against the RazChan. Another interesting one.
Yeah, let me take a look at the bracket while I'm here, you know, since I'm a little bit less punctual than usual. It's been a while since I've already been here, and starting things off on a chaotic note definitely is not the wave. But let's take a look. So who did you say was up next?
RazChan and Zulck. One sec.
I see them. RazChan. That name does ring a bell. I'm not familiar with Zulck, but this is interesting.
Sec. Just got a TO real quick.
Now, while we're waiting for our matches to be on stream, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't already know, as per usual, we run the match arena. If you do wish to contribute to that, then that is always optional. It is always a delight, as well as all of those proceedings go to the players. There's about 45 codes left over. So it's as simple as 1, 2, 3. Log in, claim a free code, and profit. Again, all the proceedings go to the prize pool, and the prize pool goes straight to the pockets of the players who make the top cut. And from there, we can continuously find ways to support these players ongoing every single time, every Monday, as per usual. And honestly, it just helps players who normally don't enter this thing get an opportunity to get in that little bit of a bag, especially because there's really no risk to it. You're just entering for free. You just get money as an incentive.
Yeah, and you know, in this economy, right, the housing market, oof, awful. You need these match arena prize pools to afford a house. Clearly, that's how it goes, right? At least buy some food.
I mean, you can get yourself some. Like if you're in the UK side of things, man, you can get yourself some Tesco's. You know what, the Tesco meal deal. You've got all kinds of stuff that you can buy with about $20.
Yeah, I can buy a single pizza where I live. How expensive in dollars is a pizza here? Yeah, I mean, a pizza is about $20 in Denmark. That is crazy.
I would assume that's like a large pizza, right?
No, that's a normal one.
That's a normal one? Jesus.
But I would also say that that I'm in a very privileged country where a McDonald's worker earns about starting wages in dollars how much you get per hour. It's like you get $23 per hour in McDonald's here.
Jesus.
Starting wage.
My best pay for a restaurant job was fucking $20. Like, damn.
Yeah.
Just for McDonald's? Oh, man.
Yeah. The really the privilege of being a rich European country. But everything though is expensive, right?
I mean, inflation is definitely one hell of a dynamic to have to play around. But in any case, though, while we're on the topic of money, right? Like I said, every week on Monday, Guilty Gear Strive, you have the opportunity to be able to compete for a small pool of money, but that money can go a very long way depending on the transfer fee. But as we move along, we're gonna get down to the next set on hand. Let us get down and ready with it. We're gonna have Zulck versus RazChan.
All right, so it is gonna be Ram, and it is gonna be that Bridget. Germany against France, another French player. Love to see it.
Just simple neutral in here, just like poking and prodding away, nothing huge yet. We're trying to get set up with that yo-yo, but the Grissa or Donna gonna be able to snipe out RazChan from the skybox, and now we have that corner to our name. A little bit of life left over for RazChan. We go for the full send off the blue RC. Trying to get that mix up off the rolling movement, and blue Wild Assault to just keep that momentum going. Ooh. Bit of a rough start so far, but not too bad. We are about halfway through the first game, but we are looking pretty strong in the early going. RazChan able to get that opener, and now we finally get that wall break to our name, getting that hard knockdown to boot alongside it.
Oh, first attempt not working out.
Oh, great catch on the backdash. That was really good work from RazChan to be able to get that going. And 7 golden letters for the golden child. She is ready going into that even Steven, and now she's the one in control.
Yo-yo out the mix, connecting with the low as well. So stay safe here. Work out. Look at that RazChan just zooming in, spending that meter as well.
Going for that reset, not wanting to get a little bit of a drop. We saw a little bit of the Bridget jink just a second ago, and very smartly so goes away. She is going to secure this round, and therefore the game. RazChan started things slow, but she was able to finish off strong, going game 1 into this set. Oh, nicely done, man. I don't usually get to commentate Bridget, so it's going to be fun to really find out how things are going, especially with the final bastions of Bridget, like seemingly starting to fade into obscurity.
Yeah. Interesting how that works out always, right? And it's so I'm very interested in seeing again 2.0 how that's going to shape up the meta or everything like that. But into go RazChan game 1 and already a burst here coming out from Zulck.
Yeah, Zulck has had that really good explosive start in the first game, and now we're starting to see a little bit of the same going into game number 2. But as we already saw in the first game, we do not want to repeat the mistakes previously. We want to keep control and want to prevent RazChan from taking control once again, because all that momentum can quickly shift on a dime. Crossing over with the JD, not really the greatest position for Zulck to have to play with. And now RazChan has full liberties to just harass them as they go along. A nice mash out with the far slash, pretty aggressive, but you got caught sleeping at the wheel with the rock the baby.
Downstairs we go, jumping back. Both players not a lot of life left, and there we go. Zulck get that first round.
going air to air with that JP. Zulck has shown they're more very aerial oriented, and now they're getting caught backdashing, especially mashing on these throws, man. These defensive options are starting to get exposed left, right, and center. And once again, letting him know I'm awake at the wheel. RazChan is just checking who's behind the steering wheel, and Zulck seems to be sleeping on the job. Woo.
In. Oh, the burst.
This is really good positioning too. The switch around of momentum could be really pivotal, but RazChan messing about, just really going full aggression. Really going great counter hit with the down row. We can get some really good corner carrying. We need to get that positioning advantage as soon as possible, and we go full wall to wall. We're making it back to the west side of things.
No, not in one stick attention here for both. Gonna spend that one to mix, and the counter hit. RazChan is gonna go up 2-0 now.
Zulck definitely had a lot more say going into this round as opposed to the last one that we had previously, but Zulck has been having a lot of difficulty just keeping composure in the real important segments of the set, just constantly getting punished in a lot of small ways, but they rack up so quickly, and RazChan has showing that they're willing to take initiative. She is not going to sit by and let you do things for free. So Zulck is going to have to make a quick counter adaptation because that is already a damning lead.
Yeah. But again, I feel like the games have been close, right? So definitely just a chance of Zulck to bring it back.
That is a great snipe out from the sky with that JS, already getting that 6P off the 5H. Now, are you more awake at the wheel? We've got to be more alert to all these options that RazChan has been representing. And run up throw, quickly does it off the yo-yo toss. We go for the throw loop. Now positive bonus rolling on through. Zulck is looking at a lot of the reserves being chunked out quickly. What a mash out from RazChan. No fear in her heart whatsoever, and she's rewarded with a quick round as well.
Yep, and rewarded with a set point. We're about to look at a 100% loss rate here for France in round one.
Oh, what a mash out close slash. Sitting up the yo-yo, going for that immediate 2S, baiting out the burst. Now we got that corner. We're just watching everything work like butter. Smooth as can be. The Midas touch is on the side of RazChan as she's just looping Zulck in the corner. 100 meter on deck, but we didn't get to use any bit of it outside of FD. That is a quick and easy 3-0 for RazChan as she moves on to the winner's side of things.
Yep, very nice. So going to go to that winner's round 2, and it's only going to be more difficult from here on out. But again, RazChan looking very strong. Definitely doable to get even further in the bracket.
Yeah, but it's definitely not doom and gloom just yet. I mean, you still do have the loser side, so it's not exactly all done and dusted. You still have plenty of opportunities to be able to make it further into the bracket, but it does make it harder, right? You are swimming with sharks at that point, and that's where typically you start to see a lot of the greatest killers show up and really test your mettle. But speaking of testing the metal as well as the mental, I believe the next set we're going to be having on stream is going to be YoKai's own Volta versus blertsmile.
Yep, it will absolutely be that. So speaking of Voltan, it is, Volta, the two Polish players we have here. One of them going to go on stream, and we got Blurt here rocking the A.B.A. Okay.
Yeah, Blurt. One hell of an abrasive A.B.A. player, but I think that there's much to be said about the Polish Slayer himself. He is one hell of an abrasive individual. and already starting things off, getting that early BSU and that counter hit 2H, forcing out that burst. We're trying to stay away from that jealousy rage, but blertsmile, recognizing the resources, just decides to go for the simple reset, and now we can reset our winning ways.
Oh.
So getting a little bit too abrasive on defense at the moment. Try to go for the whiff punish after the uninstall, and now we just go for the Master's Hammer. Young Blur getting caught out in a really unfortunate circumstance. We go for that reset, crossing over with a close slash, and that is going to be the most disrespectful finish. Just going into round number 1. Peanut Butter Gamer shows his face around the place, and now we move on to round 2. No love lost, but you gotta keep things going. No, all love and war, man. Going for the faint 6K, man. And we try to go for it again, but you can't double dip in these European sectors.
Oh, that's gonna hurt. Tension again, building up.
We get the ability to install safely, as well as being able to set up a lot of these overhead mixes. Volta is really cracking a bit on the defensive end. That is a quick round as well. Returning the favor, blertsmile takes it back with the red axe. Now both players going into round number 3, the penultimate round, as both players are also working with a full steam of burst.
Immediately gonna just spend that burst. Why not?
Simple strike throw. You gotta be ready for that at all times, and that couldn't have come at a better time than there. Preventing the install and preventing as well the opportunity for blertsmile to get back these resources, but unfortunately for Volta, not gonna get the pile bunker pickup, and now his back is to the wall. Nice match out. Damn, what a way to go out. Explosive start from both players, but it's blertsmile who puts the nail in the coffin for that first game. Volta going down in the early going, but definitely no punches pulled so far.
Again, very, very close game 1 here. Very interesting to see how this turns out. Game 2. Again, you don't want to lose that game 2 and have all of the momentum on the side of Blurred here, so let's see what Volta can do.
I mean, Volta has already shown the early signs of like just being able to deal with some of the defensive prowess of blertsmile, but the big issue now is just Blur is getting a lot of these big whiff punishes that lead to just some major reward. But conversely, though, Volta is just rushing on in. No fear in his heart. Just really wants to keep the momentum on his side. As we go for the throw bait in his head. This is what he wanted last game, and now he's going to get rewarded, especially with the uninstall, forcing Blur to have to play a more passive game.
Counter hit as well there to end it off. And yeah, that is how it goes with Slayer, right? You just press some buttons and bam. 50% alive, gone.
Speaking of which,
like everything's a counter hit. What is going on? Oh no.
Dead on time, man. Living up to the name. Young Blur is on his last legs for this round. And Volta tried to stagger in that dandy step, but got caught for his troubles. Tried to cross over with that close slash, but Blurt was so quick to the trigger, able to use that burst to keep that positioning advantage. That's a lot of jealousy, and that is a lot of tension.
Okay, super. Just gonna use that to get the pressure. We see some FD coming out from Volta, but it's just not enough. Oof.
And now
we just do it again. Just do it again. Rerun. Oh no!
Volta doesn't know! He doesn't know! Volta allowing blertsmile that free plus 49 in his face, and he's paying dearly for it. The first of the two to get the 50 burst. Now Volta is taking full control. Try to probably go for the jump in, but just misinputted there. Young Blurred, both these two now working with resources on deck, but Blurred is the one to open up Volta instead.
Oh, and the counter hit. Look at that tension as well. Gonna get. Oh, dropping it there.
Oh, tried to go for that reset. Blurt was not quick enough to recognize. This is all off Black Meat, by the way, Ice. And now Volta evens things out.
Stuff there, Volta, for sure.
Ah, man. No love lost. Just pure brutality and violence on the stand. That's what you love to see when you see these two characters. I feel that. I love Sky Should Be High too. I love that song. Game number 3 on deck. Now that you've shown your hand, what are you going to do from here? There's only so many tricks up your sleeve that you can represent. And right now, Blurt going for that meaty intertwine and tilt. Keeping that meter for the wall break transition, keeping it for positive bonus on top of things. Nicely done. This is why he did so. Able to manage to catch the backdash. And now we're just going to cash it all in. This is going to crush his health bar to smithereens. GG, go next.
So Blood in the lead, gonna get hit immediately though with low. But I feel like this match, man, it's just oops all counter hits. I don't know what's going on.
That's typically the kind of game plan you're going to see from these two as well. I mean, both these players are not blocking for a damn worth of lick. Oh my
swanging.
God.
What is going on?
Volta, you had Papa!
Oh,
and now he's going
no.
to die. That's a dead Slayer if I've ever seen it.
Oh! All right.
I think he assumed he also died too at the end there. But blertsmile able to get that little bit of a scramble and just take the game all the same.
Yeah, listening to the commentary saying, oh, yep, they're right. Putting down the controller. Yeah, hikes. And yeah, Blood now in the lead 2-1 here. Whoa.
Volta's got to wake up there because that one mistake cost him the entire game. That Mappa could have easily been the closing nail and gave him possibly the point. But now Blurt working with a lot of confidence and a lot of luck on his side. Oh, this
Oh, all right. Are we doing shimmies in my Guilty Gear? Yeah.
I mean, once she's in your face like that, what are you gonna guess between? It's high, low, grab, or just throw shimmy, dude. Oh, nicely done. This is the kind of thing you've got to be wary of as a Slayer player when the players know how to deal with Master's Hammer.
Ooh, nice little anti-air. Again, wants to take attention to the Nerd Rage.
Volta only working with 50 meter on deck. Tries to go for the IED-JH. Gets the shotgun bunker and able to make a lot happen here. But that's a lot of resources available. Gonna try to go for that throw shimmy again. And this time, second time's the charm.
Still alive. The power bunger is gonna take care of that though. And yeah, Volta up. Still alive here, Volta. Lil V doing a lot of work.
Just too far away for that blue wild assault to mean anything. Nice use of the P map, but to goad out the 6P. No punish there. This is good for Volta. Gets to get the bunker and just stays outside of that whip punish range. But again, just this passivity is costing him a lot of big exchanges. Catches the backdash with that giant dandy 5K. This man just is... He's in Blurt's head. He got caught by it, but now he's making the anti-Volta tech live on stream.
Yeah. Again, we're just swanging and it's working out. Interesting. It's such a fun matchup, right? These two characters. It is really, really fun.
Master's Hammer being throwable is a bug. I still can't get over that. Game 5, and our first Game 5 of tonight as well. Volta, he's taking himself off the reins. He's unleashed the horde of mashing belligerents. Oh, I tried to go for the Master's Hammer again, but Blurt this time. Gonna be able to make it happen the second time. Try to go for the 2 repeats.
And the whiff punish? Yo, we got those as well. And I hit the low here. Just FDing, but it's not working out. The throw in the end is gonna take it. And another set point here for Blurt.
Try to go for its Slade to catch Blurt from the skyline. Again, cross up bunker. They've been landing consistently, and Blurt just getting caught out. Going for the bump ahead. Crossing up once more. Look at the damage just starting to pile up for this pile bunker loop. And we might just be able to get the wall break too. This should be enough. No, too much health on the side of Blurt. We have a magic pixel. Great block, and Volta just catching with the 5K, the measuring stick. We're down to what, last game, last round.
Classic double Luigi here. All right, gonna burst, not gonna have burst for the rest of this set here. It's all Volta right now. The momentum on the side of the Slayer, and yeah.
And even better for Volta, right? He gets to willingly deal with the jealousy rage, and Volta sniping the result away from Blurt. We take it 3-2. YoKai Zone moves on into the rest of the winner side, while blertsmile has to work their way up from the loser side.
I feel like, so back in the day, right, we used to have these kind of like clan wars in Guilds Gear with some tags fighting each other. I feel like we could do that. Could be a YoKai against Poop fight. I feel like there's enough players for both, and the level is kind of good. So
we haven't had a crew battle. We haven't had a crew battle for the EMEA side of things, and let me tell you, the EMEA side is hungry for one. So, I mean, and that's the kind of thing, right? Like, there's very few teams like that are really around the EMEA scene, or at least enough to be able to get a big enough player pool. So there is that, but if that does come down, man, I wouldn't be opposed to it. It's just a matter of whether or not the players are available, because, you know, there is the school year and whatnot, and people do have jobs. So we'll see how that goes.
Yep. We get Antonio out, you know, that's the most important part. All right. What?
Yeah.
What's? Missed that flag.
What is that actually? Yeah, I've never seen this flag.
It's Maine. Unofficial flag of Maine. I have that in my folder, or do I actually have to find that?
Every time I see a top 8 graphic with all kinds of flags, I learn more about the geographical nature of certain countries or states.
It's just people being pulling out the most obscure flag tech. Yeah, it's state of Maine. I think it's a U.S. state, right? Pretty sure.
I think so, yeah.
Well, you should know. You're the American. What do you mean?
just because I live in America, don't mean I know everything about my own country. Sometimes I live in an exclusive world that exists within the sectors of my own mind. I think I've got enough on my plate as is.
That's not.
Yeah, I was born with dinosaurs and fucking Hot Wheels. Like, that's all I know.
All right, so I am L, another player from Poop, up against RubeePrison. Ruby, of course, someone who's been doing very well recently and has been credited with a 8th seed today. So very, very nice. It's got
RubeePrison over the last year has definitely come into their own, like, considerably. She has done quite a bit, especially with safe havens, with like their peer in Wheat. They've consistently top 8'd in a lot of cases, and have also beaten some major heavy hitters within the community, like Revill, as well as just multiple champions of their own right. And you got to give it to her. She's been absolutely tearing things up. The main thing, though, is IML has gone up against multiple heavy hitters, has been top 8ing in a lot of these heavy hitting brackets, and usually has that kind of it factor when it comes to closing things out, the composure needed to just do the business. But Elphelt Valentine is a very volatile snowball character. Once she gets rolling, it's really difficult to just keep your mental fortified as the set goes on.
All right.
Already starting things off with the Stain, trying so hard to control the screen, but RubeePrison is not going to take no for an answer. Already 70% of the life gauge gone. We go for that FRC mix off the Bomb Chocolat.
Yeah.
And
coming back in, there we go. And I would say the Finnish community is another one of those kind of sleeper communities in the European region. Got a ton of really strong players that might not show up that much online, but trust me, offline, stuff like Headstumble, right? You'll see a lot of really strong Finnish players there.
Ooh. Catch with that 2K. We're just going for that tap. Does as well, getting the pickup, going straight into the Nostrova. The ladies need to do the job, and we get to set up the Stain state once more. There is 50 meter on deck. We try to set up the mix, but we get chipped out in the end. RubeePrison didn't even get the chance to fight back at all.
Counter hit.
What a trade.
Bursting here. Yo, Anacronio? See the name. Actually, it's been a while since I last saw Antonio. A long time since he went to my monthly.
Oh, try to go for the throw.
What? That's awkward.
A little bit of an oopsie daisy there from RubeePrison. Going all over. I can't believe it's not an overhead.
Yeah. Well, let's see who's gonna take this game one. Both players very low, and it is gonna be Ruby with that game one. Woo. All right.
High octane offense is the name of the game for RubeePrison. They Elphelt that could, just trudging along and just getting these big moments time and time again. IML really fought valiantly going into round number 2, but round 3 was just a steamroll. RubeePrison is really the little engine that could, just keeps running at you full speed ahead.
Duel 1.
So this time see IML just jumping back immediately.
Really brave attempt at the reset there, especially off of that 6H. Catching in the skyline with the Raven, using that teleport to get to the other side. Nice air throw as well, but even better mash out from both sides.
Connecting, all right.
Going with that same side overhead. Gonna catch with the Grave Reaper and preventing as much burst gain as possible. We're gonna use that Calamity 1 to seal things up. That round 1 looked very good for the side of IML.
That connecting as well from full screen, and there we go. Yeah, Ruby. Man, a lot of trouble. The dust as well connecting. Oh, everything just connecting right now. Oh no.
You could do nothing wrong, and even more so, you get to steal their soul along the way. RubeePrison bows down for the second game, evening things up in winner's top 32. Game 3 time. It's the decider. The momentum rides on this. It's been a while since I've been able to say that on the mic here at SaltyEU, but here we go.
Jumping backwards immediately, and I feel like, right, IML has really learned from that game 1 round start, just eating a lot of damage, just now saying, all right, I'm just conceding, jumping back every single time, right, and I don't want to interact at all round start.
Yeah, but you got to be careful, though. Ruby is not one to be denied, and she will find a way to just break down the doors of your defense. Tries to go in with the Bridal Express, running past the Arbiter sign, saying, no, 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 we're not doing this in this household. RubeePrison takes things really strongly going into round 1.
Overhead connecting here. That curse on as well, of course, doesn't last that long.
Oh, try to go for that 6P possibly, but now we just keep that corner. We're just going to go for the resets. Nothing big, but a great trade confirmed from IML. Going into round number 3, this is pretty good. Burst still on the side of RubeePrison, but Anacronio themselves still has to wait a little while. Oh, the Juganto. You got to play the swan song. Tries to go for the gold burst, but got caught out in the end there. Nice backdash to get the 2K, but still, RubeePrison really running game, but now we're in a good spot for IML to fight back.
Oh, the jump in as well, but yeah, no meter, so won't be able to get that kill. And again, similar situation to other games, but here it is just IML taking the lead over Ruby. Very nice.
That was really good at retreating IADJS. That really was fantastic there. And best of all, right, it was almost frame perfect. These two could have, the result could have either gone either way. And unfortunately for RubeePrison, she does fall for this round, but that looked really hot, like chaotic at the end there. Very close set thus far, but IML just needs one more to make this winner's side top 8. Just to qualify to get winner's side, it would be really good for the mental, or the winner's side qualifiers for top 8.
All right. Just pressuring in here. Look at that. Woo.
RubeePrison has been noted to be utilizing that 6P, that Swiss Army knife, but IML gonna fall at the end. Right with that, Miss Charlotte. Nice 6P once again, just catching the skyline. Now we're starting to see the adaptation from RubeePrison as she's scouting out IML's approach in the skies.
And it's looking like we are approaching a game 5 here, unless IML can get something started. But no, it's just all Ruby. She's relentless here, and look at that tension to boss. Oh no.
The run-up Juganto. This is a tactic as old as time. I've seen her do it time and time again over in Howling Hostility, and it's no different here in SaltyEU. Everybody falls all the same to such dandy tricks, but when you have 100 meter, you either use it or you lose it. So good on RubeePrison to recognize it and to still do it anyway. Game 5, here we come.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, right? If it seems a very basic thing, right? But if you have 2 bars of meter, you can always just RC if you guess wrong. So you just get a free guess on a super. Very degenerate, right? All right, so IML just taking a short break here before we get into the match. That's perfectly fine. I can say next up we got a really interesting one. It's going to be Sun against Scripter. We also got a Revill making it into our top 16. Will be against either RazChan or Alexiad. Speaking of Sweden on stream. Very interesting there.
That little bit of a breather could definitely do some wonders for the mental, right? Just like getting that confidence back, or just being able to recalibrate, because the mental definitely was pushed to its limits right now. And with a character as volatile as Elphelt can be at times, you've got to be able to take a moment to breathe and just relax yourself. I mean, we've seen how studies have shown that that can help just keep the reaction time and behavior just in check. And there it is. They're already translating immediate success off of that wall break.
It's gonna hurt.
Crossing over. We still have the bomb that supply, but we were just able to get that IRC off. Try to go for the burst bait there. We still have plenty of resources to burn through, but that is a lot of meter for RubeePrison to fall back on. Catching with the Bridal Express, trying to bait the burst, but now we're starting to see only burst on the side of RubeePrison.
Oh, look at that. Oh, no!
Not enough to kill, just barely lives that situation, but you've got to make a play real quick. Tries to throw it out and wins the projectile war. Both players with one hit apiece, but it's IML who comes out on top. One more round, winner side top 8 qualifying is right in IML's grasp. We have stay on. Good mash out. What an air throw, Ice.
Yeah, absolutely. Bundy's on display, and oh no! That is starting to look rough here for Ruby. One hit will do it, but just gonna get that anti-air. Wait a second. Okay, nice movement coming out from IML.
Is this going to be enough? It should be blockable. That's a free punish with that 6H. IML preventing the Game 5 decider, going against them. Now he gets to move on into top 8 qualifiers, but damn, that was a lot more chaotic and non-stop action than we were anticipating in the early rounds of this bracket. And I can only imagine what the top 8 commentators are going to be having to deal with once they get into that segment. But until then, we've got plenty of action to go.
Yeah. All right, and that means we are going to get a very, very interesting match here. It's going to be Son, it's going to be Scripter. Of course, Scripter last time I saw was playing Venom, which is very interesting, usually a Soul player.
Yeah, I typically remember Scripter as a Soul player or Soul connoisseur, so to see the Venom would be interesting, especially with the opinions of Venom fluctuating depending on who you ask, right? You hear many players who have the consensus that he's not that great, but he has very, very potent options. Some players saying he's absolutely belligerently good at the moment, and other players just saying he's absolute dog water. There's just so many conflicting opinions on the character.
Yep. And
you can't really nail down the go-to premise because there's not really a lot of reps to really emphasize how good or bad he may be. It's the same thing with Lucy, just not enough reps and not enough people performing on the grandest stage to really say, hey, this character is X strength.
Yeah. One thing we can say though is that of course we do have a match Reno, and right now we have not enough codes claimed. We have 14 out of 50 codes claimed. You can help out right now by going through that link in chat, which will take you to this page. All you have to do is press this little claim code button, which will add 25 cents to the prize pool, absolutely free. You can log in, for instance, with your Twitch that you're watching on right now. You can even do it on phone, so it is quite easy. And of course, any money here to the prize pool is very, very appreciated. I got $23, which is nice, but we could get up to at least $30 with all codes claimed, so it's quite a bit of difference. Thank you very much, Rudolphin, of course, Pieta, Max Payne, Mac Payne, not Max, for claiming those. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, it's as simple as 1, 2, 3. You log in, claim a free code, and all the profits go to the players, man. It's a simple process, and it really doesn't take more than probably 10 seconds. I did it just a minute ago, and it's a really seamless transition. Nothing, no risk, no problems. We just keep it rolling. But now we've got Scripter versus Sohn, and this should be fun. We talked about character reps. Sohn really is one of the final bastions of this character, especially in the EMEA district. Just very few and far between do we see Ramlethal, but Sohn has been one of the longest serving soldiers within this brigade of Valentines.
Alright. Here we go.
Already starting things off pretty fast paced, not wanting to muck about. We are starting to see that early side of the zoning, especially off that QV. There it is, the Stinger. That's the main tool at hand you've got to be cautious about. That's the tool that a lot of players universally agree is just an absolute abhorrent tool to have to play in the neutral game. Good dash blocking from Scripter, especially right at the end there. Using that burst to keep control of that corner, especially with Sword still gone. We just managed to get our S-Sword toss. Going with the Sword PRC, and that round is finito. Quickly does it. Scripter going down in round 1.
On the hit. And with the Ram. Those characters able to dish out a lot of damage. Oh, oops, yeah. Got the main flag still.
Love to see it. Oh, the Triumbaka. You gotta be a little cautious about these things. Just because he uses a lot of his Stinger does not mean he doesn't have that capability to pull out the command grab. You gotta be careful on strike throw scenarios. Cat Scratchers getting that pickup, trying to go for the burst bait, but wonderful IB.
You're in there. Oh, calling out the burst. And yeah, Son with a pretty convincing game 1 there. Very, very nicely done. Interesting.
Yeah, just absolutely diabolical behavior from Son, but Son, that's just the typical nature of Son. But like, he will make use of a reset if possible, if it means he can get that burst bait or if he can get that YRC bait. He's willing to drop that scenario, that game-winning scenario, just to set himself up nicely to really mess with the mental. And that mental stack can really take control and really manifest itself into true victories for him.
Yep, so we'll have to see how a Scripter adapts here. Alright, immediately just run up throw.
We're going for the color swap too. We're gonna go for that color 8 Venom. We wanna maybe dress to impress for the people in the chat.
Alright, bursting. It's gonna be another big counter hit into that Mortabado. Hard knockdown. Gonna get some tension for his efforts. Ooh. There we go. I think for Venom, right? I don't know if you saw that tweet from me. Probably didn't from Scripter last week, but there's some things about this character, man, that's still a little bit funky, where you can get very mixed up on your own confirms.
Yeah, I haven't really been keeping up with a lot of the EMEA district. I've been mostly sticking to my own, especially in the North American side. But definitely a lot of funky jank with this character, especially when you have that one, you know, hollow purple involved, the little technique where you can just throw out a pool ball, and if you shoot it through it, for some reason, it still continues to have that projectile durability. I don't know why that's the case, but it is really funny. But speaking of, great air throw, and we're just gonna go for the immediate Triumbaka, setting up that situation. There it is, damage output galore. This is what he needs to keep the game rolling. Nice backdash overhead to get that situation.
RC, very nice. The no connecting. Ooh. Good live feed here as well. Shouldn't have set that maybe. Also, Bardo still. Scripter just needs one hit here to tie up the game, and that'll do it. Nice little hit confirmed.
Yeah. Try to get a little bit of payback for the last time. Maybe try to cash in on that receipt for that burst bait from game 1, but no, not gonna let it happen, not one bit.
Okay. You can really see how Son is using those very, very long normals of Ram, right, to just control the space here. Jump in. Just gonna get that back throw. Right back to corner go, but wait a second. This is the chance here for Scripter. Is going to be able to set up something.
Try to go for the instant overhead off the JD, but not gonna happen. We get another situation where we just loop damage, but unfortunately took too long. Gonna be able to splat off the wall. And now Scripter is in a bad way. Has to use the burst at some point, but got the choice ripped away from his hands.
Yeah, got the burst. Gonna spend it here, so no more resources. Gonna get that throw though.
Going with that same side JD. Try to go for that knockdown, but using that Sababato instead. Son just needs to get one good hit in.
Oh,
try
but
to go for
that
the
won't
throw.
do it. What a neutral jump there from Scripter. Very, very nicely done, and it's going to be able to tie up the game. All right.
Yeah, I'm noticing that Scripter is often choosing to hold on to the meter for these opportunities to just play the neutral game. I've not once seen a single Dark Angel yet from Scripter at all. Maybe just utilizing the ability to just really disengage and re-engage at will and just using meter to extend rather than try and lock down from mid-screen. Maybe just doesn't want to let the meter penalty really take control. And for a character like this, who's usually good at generating meter, you definitely don't want to be spending it willy-nilly, especially against a character like Ramlethal.
Chat, if you want to see, of course, from last week, this was the clip. Unfortunate situations, but there we go. Scripter looking much better here, and it's going to take that game one perfect as well here.
A lot better, and I think that color swap is starting to show. Maybe it's not just a decorative change, it's a mental change, right? Yeah. Sometimes you just have that go-to color, and it really does set your mind into a different pace.
I mean, if you don't have a winner's bracket color and a loser's bracket color, I don't know what you're doing, honestly.
I just see, in my head, I just have one color because it's the best color, and to me, that's Nago color A. Oh, we go for it, the double dip. Ooh.
Oh, man, this character's so saucy.
This is the kind of stuff that you want Venom to be, not this S stinger, H stinger spam that we're used to. But right now, as it stands, Scripter hasn't really made a lot of use of that. We're keeping it very simple. Nice use of the hold on that meter. Don't want to utilize anything if your opponent isn't going to punish accordingly. Good use of those cat scratchers, and now we get this wall break for free. We get to cash out whenever and however we want. Even that hard knockdown off the Mortal Vato.
Still a little bit scary here. Gonna get the air throw. Wait a second. Oh! Alright. Another throw. And it is a tie game.
Try to use that charged QV, but got caught out at the end there. So definitely trying to keep it more more classy now. Nothing too crazy. Try to set up the ball right there in front of Sone's face. Greedy option, but still good burst discipline to keep that corner. And Scripter able to escape.
It's gonna more to battle on the wake up. Why not? Right, gonna get that invincible reversal. And again, we see another throw whiffing here from Son. Just messing up the timing a little bit on that Oki, but maybe it doesn't matter here. Throw break.
We're starting to see a lot more of Triumbaka. Scripter really is just mentally trying to get every opportunity afforded to him to set that up. Going for 2 JDs, but good fuzzy from Son to just keep control. Just consistently dealing with these strike throw positions.
Yeah, you know what? I can hold back and press FD. That's fine. Oh, that doesn't kill. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh, just one hit, and we catch the necessary sliver of life. Scripter, unfortunately, going to bow down for game number 3. That was a lot closer than we anticipated, but Son going to take it. Now we're on match point. We just need this game to be able to move to winner's side top 8. Oh, it does look like we're probably going to get a color swap or a character swap. I'm not entirely sure, but we're definitely taking a minute to just think this through. And it looks like we're sticking with the Venom. We just needed that moment to breathe. And also, Tiger Pop, I agree with you. I need to do that right now. I got some leftover rice and some chicken broth. I'm probably gonna mix the two. That sounds good right about now.
Yeah, I low-key did just order some pho, so there we go. Soup will be eaten in a sec.
You know what? You know, chat, what's your favorite soup? While we're in the chat, let's talk about a little bit of soup before we get the action going, because as it stands, we're getting some scrumptious guilty here going on.
See, if true ones know, like, you know pho, you know ramen, but true ones, they know that Thai boat noodles, guideo, man, that's the best soup.
I love egg noodle pho. With
It's
like,
guideo,
like,
I'm told. I'm sorry. Hi, audience.
Sometimes you drink soup? Hell yeah. Oh, Fuzzy up back JD is a diabolical defensive option from Scripter, but he manages to make it work. Now Son is in the winner's driver's boat, but he's still got to deal with a lot of this resilience coming from the side of Scripter.
Yep. Nice. Stuck in the corner now. Wait a second. It's time for that diabolical mix here. For 1 second tension, that's going to connect.
Able to get the extension off that full ball that was just launched into the jawline of Son. Trying to use that Bajonetto, just barely got a little bit of distance to get the explosion. Using that PRC, both of them just spending meter. Reckless abandon from both sides, but Son able to secure that corner. Staggered with this 2Ks, and now you're seeing the dash blocks from Scripter. And able to finally open him up, beating the burst. Now we go into final round for Son, and Scripter has no burst to manage with.
See here, Son again, live lead. Uh-oh! 2 stacks of tension here, guys. Uh-oh. MobdoM. Scripter needs a miracle here, but wait a second. Wait a second.
Pixels, but unfortunately, we just ran straight to our death. The Tozy Wozies of Ramlethal Valentine are gonna put Scripter down to the loser side of things. Now you're gonna have to fight your way up from losers top 8 qualifying to even make it to the final cut. But Son gets to secure that winner side and gets that little bit of a safety net, that little champion's prerogative to just keep his mental sound, and he gets to relax for the meantime as we get the next set underway.
Yep, and we are indeed going to see another Ram here, the Swedish Ram, that is, Alexiad, up against Revill. Interesting.
Sin Kisuke. I just picked up Sin recently, so I'm on day number 8. Today would be day 9 of me picking up Sin, of like 9? Actually playing him. Yeah, I'm on day 9, and so far, and I was able to get Sin to Vanquish on my birthday, so it just passed a couple of days ago. It was pretty fun. But yeah. Sin Kisuke is a character who is so funny because he's very explosive, still very potent, very strong in a lot of cases, but you know, a lot of it has been reduced by comparison, and on top of that, so many characters just shot up through the ranks as a result. But from what I'm seeing, Revill seems to be rocking the Lucy at the moment.
Oh, okay. It's that's interesting. Always fun to watch Lucy. Nope.
Now we're going
the
back
Lucy
to Sin.
is purely for casuals.
Yeah, but Sin is a character who, despite his strength going down quite a bit, there is the fact that he is still very, very strong at just being able to blow up your health bar, just absolutely secure his ways to just get into your face. And once he gets the ball rolling, it really just becomes a one-sided affair. But in the same vein, Alexiad is going to be rocking that Ramlethal, so we're going to go back-to-back. We're going to get the domestic here. And already good throw on the attack on the throw.
Yeah. For shouts to Alexiad, one of the people working at the Tekken World Tour Finals in Malmö, making sure that turned out very well. So good stuff. Always love people working out. And yeah, MobdoM gonna really establish this round 1 here for the Swede.
Already starting things off. Try to PRC away just in case that that was a DP of sorts. Alexiad just getting caught, but good use of the burst to mitigate the stamina and just gets that whiff punish with that 2S. That all-important extension off that beat driver really does come against him after a while. Revill just gonna have to play it out real well.
Coming back.
Oh, look at that. There it is. We're going to keep that stamina. Revill doesn't want to get caught out just yet, but she is taking control of that corner, just making sure that Alexiad cannot escape. But unfortunately, it was a little too plus for her efforts. Alexiad now in the full control.
Back counter hit, tension building up. All right. Ride the lightning. Let's get some damage here.
Try to stagger, delay on the hoof stomp. Just wants to find one opening, but Alexiad able to get across the other side and baits out the deflect shield.
So, yeah. Both players not a lot of life, but both players a lot of tension to throw, saying, you know what? I don't want to deal with your RC shenanigans. Get out of here. And, yeah, Alexiad 1-0. Very nice.
They're really bringing the fight to Revill, and Revill has not had much influence over the decisions of how the tempo of the set is going to go. And you would think Revill would be a lot more high octane into this, but we're seeing how the hurtbox extensions of some of these pokes are not really helping Revill's case here. She is getting caught out in really big areas, and it's going to mount up over time. Just Alexiad has that benefit of these big, strong normals that just lead to so much problems. But now Revill is going to be starting this off, and burst is already off the table for Alexiad.
So I kind of like that, right? You spend the burst early and you say, you know what? I'm going to get at least, if we go to 5 rounds, I'm going to get at least 2 more bursts this game, right? So it's like, we take those.
Yeah, the mentality of burst early, burst often. And considering this is a very high meter expenditure game, you have the opportunity to build that burst back up, whether you're either you're tanking hits or you're getting positive bonus. So the longer the set drags on, the better. Gonna get that DP out, waiting out for that Mortal Bato, but instead we just get the sword toss on defense. Good jump to get out of that situation, but Alexiad using that PRC to chase and go for that air throw.
Very nicely done there, just alright. Back to neutral white, just wanna get some space. Play around with those very long normals here on ramp. Got nerfed a bit, right, but does that really matter too much? I don't know. It's good, very still.
I mean, that JH nerf definitely did quite a number on her aerial approach, but that doesn't mean that the tool is all dead. It's still a lot potent, but just not nearly to the degree that it was. So Alexiad playing a little bit more on the ground to just utilize whatever tool is available. But we're going to go for that beak shot. Not going to get much off of it, but good Mortal Bato to fight on the corner. Both players going sky high, just looking at each other dead in the face, using that burst for the positioning advantage. Try to mash out with that far slash. Good 6P check, and now we even things out in the rounds. Revill has some burst advantage, just has a quarter of a way to get there, while Alexiad is going to have to play the long game.
Downstairs we go. Burst right there.
Very huge delay. That was a very huge delay on the elk hunt there. And we're just going to cash it all in. Tyrant barrel. Unfortunately, no clean hit, but that's still 50% of your life bar gone in a flash. Simple run up throw. We have 50 meter, keeping it simple with that JS. And now we're going to get the full extension. No burst bait. And both players just cash it all in. Alexiad taking a little bit of a play out of RubeePrison's book and getting that full run up Mortal Bato, cashing it all in, taking 2 games to nothing.
Yep. And I would say, right, a little bit, not that much of an upset, but a little bit, especially a 3-0 would be an upset. And yeah, looking just very, very strong today, Alexiad. Definitely had some soup for dinner. I don't know.
Oh, for sure. For sure, man. Who doesn't love soup? And if you don't like soup, man, like we can't be friends, dude. You know what my favorite soup is, like, for real? Like my go-to soup. Like, I know it's kind of like gentrified, I get it, but like soup Toscana.
I actually don't know soup Toscana.
Apparently I think it's an Olive Garden thing where it's basically, yeah. It's like a kale soup with like potato, sausage.
I went to Olive Garden when I went to Krusty's last year, and I don't know how they expect you to eat that much food. That is all. That was like my biggest American moment, I think, was when they came and asked about the damn breadsticks all the time, and I couldn't even finish the first batch and my plate of food.
All I'm saying, dude, is that welcome to America.
All right, but you know, continuing that, it is gonna be, of course, a set point here for Alexiad.
I mean, we still are seeing quite a lot of fight left over from Revill's side, especially with a lot of resources. 100 meter. We just want to get that wall break. Tyrant Barrel allows us that opportunity to just take it to another game, but we are running out of time and running out of options. We don't even have a full stick of burst yet. Alexiad, on the other hand, feels more than inclined to use that burst to just control the momentum. Getting a Sildo Detro from so far away from the screen. Now Revill's on their last legs, dude. Just one stick of burst, one option. Last legs. Oh. Nice recognition to deal with that deflect shield. We still have the Monobato to deal with. Nice Fuzzy to deal with the JD, with the tap dust. If this clean hits, no, not enough. We just got to deal with one more mix-up. Deflect shield, but still not enough distance. Revill stays alive for one more game. That elk hunt really came out in full force against Alexiad. What is that? Whew. Games are a lot more chaotic, man. This is the kind of stuff I missed when I was here in SaltyEU. Here we are. Revill finding that confidence back. All it takes is the one to just get yourself back mentally into the game. And for Revill, this could be a good opportunity of things to come.
Okay.
Big catch with that JK. We just built up the 50. Tyrant Barrel. We haven't gotten a single clean hit, but as long as the damage is on the table, that's all that matters.
See there? Alright, dashing in to get that low.
Just cash it all in. If we can get that clean hit, we get the kill. And finally, Revill is able to get it.
Coming it again, and yeah, Revill just won away here from tying up the game. Both Zulcks have been thrown. Pressure here. Look at that. There's going to be so much more to Bardo. Big life lead. Big tension lead. Oh no!
Over. Revill was not quick to the trigger to recognize, and good on Alexiad to lock out that burst. Tap dust gonna land. We have every chance in the book to be able to play our game. Perfect round for Alexiad, and even better, we're on set point again. Alexiad just needs to close this out. Nice 6P. We're gonna give chase. Just keeping that meter, keeping that control of the corner. Trying to backdash away from a whiff punish, but using that burst to keep control of the corner.
Oh, checking back. Nice. Downstairs we go. Again, such an important moment here. It is Alexiad gonna get that hit, and now Revill blocking for their life.
Yeah, big mash out from Revill. That call out far slash. And even better, right? We have the corner. We're going to game 5. We just locked down that burst. Thankfully, that wall splat happened when it did. Revill is able to take it one more game. We get a top 8 winner side run, and we get the salty sweep.
And see, now if you're Alexiad, you're starting to get a little bit concerned, right? Both of those games were very close. Just came down to like, final decision there at the end. And, oof, that is rough.
It's a bit rough there, and that's the kind of stuff you got to be wary of when you dominate as much as you do. But then your opponent gets that one all-important win. It can do a lot of things to the mental stack of the game, and even more so to the confidence. And now that the pressure is on, Revill has been in control. This is looking really dire for Alexiad, but you gotta remain composed. You gotta breathe. You gotta stay steady. Revill, on the other hand, just has to close, has to find that opener, and time again, she has.
Hit that throw, yes sir. Not quite able to kill. Yo, wait. Will be able to kill. Damn, just barely.
Yeah, this character is capable, and you got to remember, Alexiad plays Ramlethal Valentine. There's not a lot of health to really be playing with here. Keeps that corner, doesn't want to spend all the stamina just yet. Catches the backdash as well off of this the empty jump. Revill now dealing with the corner. Just full run up, no Sildo Detro until the very last second. Burst has been played now, but Revill's got a lot of resources to burn through.
Yeah, pressuring in here. I mean, we've got the burst, right? Alexiad, no! Forced to use it there, and the final chance here for the Nordics to make it into our top 8. Throwing the sword. Oh, it's gonna get anti-aired, and Revill will complete that reverse sweep.
Unfortunate as it is to say, though, Revill is the winner of this set and is going to secure that winner's side top 8. So Alexiad, unfortunately, is going to have to do it all over again, but in the loser side of things. But pretty good work for Alexiad to be able to be as dominant as they were. But Revill, she gets to advance, and she gets to take a nice, deep sigh of relief, knowing that that wasn't the end of that winner's side run.
And with that, it means we are now done. As you can see, I have changed how I look. I've grown a luscious mustache. And I can even talk without moving my mouth. Yeah. So, Kaba, do you have anything you want to say before we move on to our round 2?
Yes, I would like to say that as March is coming on through, YoKai is in talks already of bringing back Howling Hostility as well as Misfit Brawl for both the EMEA and North American sectors. We are still getting situations like some details sorted out, some TOs that we're bringing into the team, as well as some commentators that we're looking into. But as it stands, we're looking into making sure that we can bring back the competition for everyone to have, and you guys can have a good one. So if you want to keep track of that, please be sure to join the YoKai Discord. You can find that in my socials right there that has just been linked by Team Salty, and you can find me on Twitch as well as Twitter, YouTube, wherever I am linked, you can find me, and you're more than likely to hear me on commentary moving forward from now on. We'll see how things go. But as that is said, I hope you guys have a good one. Have a great rest of your top 8, and good luck to the rest of the competitors. I'm gonna leave it off to my compatriots here. Have fun, enjoy yourselves, and have a great night.
All right, well, there we go, Lapsus, and of course, Yucker. Take it away.
Cool. Lapsus, it's been a minute.
It's been. Life been kind of interesting, to say the least. But I finally managed to get some space back on my afternoons, therefore back into the grind. It's good to be back.
Yeah. Hopefully your insight plays along as well this time.
Technically, it's better.
Okay.
No, I am not joking. I changed the fucking plug on which the PLC was connected onto technically which one I thought it was worse, and it's better.
Okay. Well, you know how this technology works in mysterious ways, but
Yeah.
yeah, no, good to have you back, and you know what an interesting bracket to come back to as well. We got some regulars, but also some names that we don't get to usually see make it to the top 8 cut, or at least in just Revill's case, it's been a minute since we've last seen him come all the way out here. But yeah, PataChu, Son, Scarf, they're no strangers to the affairs.
Yeah, certainly. The usuals indeed. And more importantly, we're starting again. That's PataChu's son. PataChu, I think we don't need to introduce him anymore, but if we need to, best sim Europe, best French player probably, the GOAT, or one of them.
Certainly. I mean, the French scene is very strong in general, because I think not only do they have volume to help back them up, right? They're just the abundance of players, which means that from it can rise a significant amount of top quality players as well. And now PataChu, I think by merit, has been able to put himself a cut above the rest, make it all the way to the AWT finals too, if I'm not mistaken as well. Which, you know, that's right around the corner. So we'll be seeing how PataChu likes to prepare for these, because even in online play, right, it's an environment to still keep yourself prepared, keep yourself warmed up for the challenges to come, and he does have that pocket Lucy, so a question will be if we'll get to see it come out to play. But of course, Sin, the tried and true workhorse behind the player, who will face off against, of course, Dawn with the ever-present Ramlethal.
Yes, certainly, but right now, back to the usual, and Son is putting on the clinic, good damage, MobdoM immediately, not letting PataChu do anything. The boost has already been spent, only half piece of butter, and Son just relentless right now. Full sending it.
1 pixel health to make a comeback in a dream, but unfortunately the backdash getting caught out by the 5P. Son, of course, scary as always with the Ramlethal pressure, especially utilizing the swords for left-right 50-50s, and also just the throw right before the explosion to just get you off guard in what you assume to be a very consistent way things play out.
Certainly, we've seen that on that match before where Son was on screen, and that's nasty. I don't think anybody wants to be on the other side receiving that pressure, but now PataChu already. Oof. Big damage and getting that overhead in. That should be a dead Son. Nope. Almost. Well.
We move fast. We move fast for the final touch here, as it's going to be a round apiece to both. First available for PataChu, but Son not too far off from his own. It's going to be up in a bit there, but starting things off nicely with pressure here, especially the cat scratches, just to make sure that PataChu doesn't leave the corner too freely now. Ooh! Gonna work out this time, however.
Yeah, good written now. Beautiful punish on that grab, which means that PataChu is going to... We're sending it. There it is. Tyrant Rave. Sweet spot. Almost deleting Son out the face of the earth immediately, but... MobdoM is a key to the victory indeed.
Unfortunately, not able to pull off the safe jump there. Has to spend up the burst, but excellent whip punish is going to prompt the burst back from on there before taking too much damage, especially with the stamina cancels. But this time, just the overhead connects. So many options available from PataChu to get those openings. And that's a pretty close way to start things off with here, but the first game going to PataChu.
Certainly, and I mean, and it's a moment that we've seen both characters before, and we said, yeah, those look good, top of the line, probably those two. Since PataChu's best, Son's Ram's better, probably, but wow, we are on for a great match, and what a way to be back.
Indeed. But knowing the trends behind PataChu as well, he's a bit of a diesel engine when it comes to warming up in these sets, where sometimes it can take a little bit, a game or two, to get fully started. But oh, hold on, that's the first time he shows the DP as well, getting baited out like this.
Yes, true. We haven't seen one on the first game, and now first one gets countered. And you don't want to start like this, but the second one is true. You're going to get a full counter hit. Now gets the payoff. It's going to break that wall. Big damage done there.
still the life lead in Son's favor, and a lack of resources for PataChu. The positive meter bonus is going to try and get him some tension back, but still waiting on the stamina to recover. He's going to have to immediately cash in with the next Iron Barrel. Doesn't quite get the kill just yet, but is on one good touch away, and finally the stamina starts reloading, but in that knockdown situation just gets a clean run-up throw to close out that first round of game 2.
In case of doubt, just run up grab. And now Son, in a precarious situation, I will say. There's burst, yes, but PataChu is dominating there, okay? Good trades, and now PataChu manages to get out of the corner. Tries to put some pressure, both players trading long range normals. And PataChu's the first one.
What an RC bait there on the DP. It'll be a nice extension here, especially with all the stamina behind, but a lack of meter means that this wall break is going to go without a hard knockdown, but nevertheless, you got that positive meter bonus running, so you did spend a bit of that burst gauge on that water assault earlier. So the confidence in the health lead here for PataChu means that he's fine without using the burst, especially getting a lot of it back already from the positive meter bonus. But the Elphelt tag, but doesn't quite finish his food just yet. Still a pixel health opportunity here for Son to try and make a comeback. Gets the explosion, the DP baited, cashing out immediately, and the burst is back for PataChu, but still quite a bit of work ahead for Son.
Quite a bit. Not if you have a DP and PataChu just rips it off. That's a 2-0 immediately for PataChu. Games are way more even that the scoreboard is showing off, but man, we are enjoying this one.
Truly. I think something interesting that I don't think I've seen a lot coming out from PataChu, so I don't know if this is a glimpse at what he's got prepared for the upcoming event in March, but it's almost so basic that you kind of wonder, is this really one of the secret technologies, which is just he runs the full distance and just throws you? Almost a call out like you're not prepared for this.
I will say that there's I think that there's a moment in Mastery where only doing simple things shows you that big mastery. If not, look at some great painters, masters of the art, and then some of their later works are just doodles. I don't know if we're going to get onto this point with fighting games, but there's a moment where just the basics are showing the amount of knowledge that you possess, because you know how to play the basics. It's not that just RPS and I'm going to because RPS. No. I am doing this because it's the way to do. Like that. Beautiful on PataChu's side.
Truly, two basics there. Clean bait on the reversal super, and just like that, the full 100-meter catch-out punish. However, the early touches going to Son here in this round as PataChu prompted to burst before giving over too much momentum here. Now trying to play out the footsie game here. Seeing who is willing to extend their normals first. They're trading for now, but Son with a slight life lead as well as the screen positioning advantage. Now gets the explosion, pulling out or shimmying the throw attempt there, and it's going to be a nice bit of damage. However, the lack of meter is going to be no hard knockdown. Back to neutral lane.
For Son, no more Tobato there, and now PataChu is the one that's going to get at least the advantage on position. Knocked on there, but Son is completely full of resources. Baits the first Mortobato. That was nasty. And now Son trying to break open the defense, gets the grab, still having access to that boost. Another one. PataChu slightly getting lower. There is RTL trying to catch Son. No! But the reset on the RC, forcing that boost out of Son.
Whiff punish, but unfortunately a little too far away for the big driver to connect there, so needs that last good touch, especially with all the stamina. Will find it, and just like that, a clean 3-0. But as you said it before, Lapsus, it is the scoreboard does not tell the full story. It was very, very close between these two. Just the final interactions going in PataChu's favor quite consistently.
At the end, yes, it was almost like if you were watching someone play footsies, the actual footsies game, always on the edge of the range, and that the first touch, immediate pouncing on it. That's beautiful.
Truly. I think also what was really interesting there was in that jump-in situation, like the PataChu was definitely looking for the safe jump there, but at the same time, Son was armed with a full stick of butter, right? The 100-meter. And at the very least, it was going to be a plan to use the Mortobato RC just to take your turn back. But reacting with the DP made the situation go by so fast that Son didn't really have a chance to RC back. You know, it did preserve him 50 tension for later interaction, but that's just a case of PataChu really trying to push the advantage and to keep the momentum running.
Certainly, but you know what we should keep the momentum going on?
Let him know.
those Macherino codes, everybody. We still have 31 codes. And we are running like what? Like hour 45, almost 2 hours of stream. We've only claimed 19 codes? Shame on everybody that hasn't claimed a code, you guys. Remember every exclamation point Macherino on chat. It's easy, you don't even need to sign in on everything, you just say, yeah, I am me from there. Macherino is going to say, cool, I like you. There's your code, those are 25 cents on the prize pool. Because right now, it's eating an even number, I don't like it, 24.75. Yeah, I think 25 sounds better, don't you think?
25 sounds better. 50 sounds even better. We have a surplus of viewers to absolutely achieve all codes claimed, right? More than 50 extra than what we have available. So definitely do not hesitate to support these players. We're coming in every week. And if not the players, right, the TO who's also making sure to be as consistent as possible to organize these things, right? So just give everyone all around a good showing, a support from the community to keep demonstrating that people do enjoy some good strive, especially with 2.0 on the horizon. So never let the momentum stop. Head on over, claim a Macherino code.
Yeah, exactly. Do it for the 2.0. Pray that your character is going to get buffed or reworked in a way that you enjoy it. I know I am doing it. But
pray that your character gets reworked, reverted, and keeps all the buffs from the rework.
Yes. I can even work with Axel going back to Xrd change, just giving back something. And I know that I am completely out of the loop right now, and I acknowledge that it's been too long since I've truly played, but still, it feels too much orthopedic, at least on my hands.
I do wonder, like, are they going to be bold enough to actually just try and rework some characters completely? Like, it's going to be a brave step. If anything, 2.0 is going to be the best point to do it because it can effectively be treated as a new game, right? Considering, like, if you compare it to previous Arc Sys titles where they were more akin to title updates, right, than per se DLC drops. The only downside, of course, is that, you're in this game for so long. To effectively have your character ripped away from you and completely have its identity change. You already saw the vision of that and people complaining with the there were some reworks, but not in the grander scale that you would compare to some other games where characters receive reworks. So it truly is a question if they're really willing to invest in that. Nevertheless, Scarf versus Revill right here, right now, as already the early burst can be utilized by Scarf to make sure that Revill doesn't get too started, and that's likewise coming out from Revill.
Yeah. Speed battle it is, and now right now Scarf is already getting the job done. That's the knockdown and positive bonus, and I think we haven't said enough, but a Chipp with positive bonus is one of the scariest things this game can throw at you.
Ooh, doesn't quite get the anti-air there. Revill trying to make something happen, but again, the footsies are coming out. Empty, low from the rope drop off there, and that should be the first round going completely to Scarf. Chipp is such a scary character as always, right? The momentum machine. Character can do no wrong. The only weakness is the player and the mistakes they made.
Yeah, and right now I think we should start throwing out a PSA for motion sickness, because if we are still starting to see a Chipp going off, that's a headache and a half ready to go. Great contacted by Revill. That's going to do a significant amount of damage. That second Tyrant Rave, beautiful. That Chipp is almost toast. One more hit that's going to be enough.
Yeah, good jump out.
To it. Yep.
Smart usage of the extra jumps, especially with the PRC coming out there from Revill. Look at that. What? Oh, sneaky JK. How'd that work? I'm trying to take a look at the replay here. Coming from above, able to connect from underneath there. Very crazy indeed. Revill now able to tie up the rounds, and then clean shimmy, gonna get that air hit to connect on counter. And that's gonna be the burst pumped up from Scarf. And the space created, not capitalized on. Revill is right back into business with the wall break, no less.
But now Scarf trying to get the party started, but nope. 2K2D into RTL. Just break it, and Scarf very low on life right now. It's not going their way, but it is 1-2. Positive bonus knockdown. Let's see if Scarf can make some magic out of this. Those are the tools, but Revill needs to cooperate for that.
Ooh, reset. Has the PRC to make it safe, but there we go. Blue RC making sure that the slowdown is in Rebel's favor. This is a little bit more to try and find an extra mix. A lot of FDing coming out here from Scarf. Nevertheless, surviving the situation. Has a pretty good position to just run the mix into finding that next couple sequences that should get the kill, but yes, up in the approach. Still health burst here to make it out alive. The DP was pulled out by the B Alpha Blade. Ooh, we got going. The Joe out of the cage. Double connect here. Is going to be enough damage off the wall. Sons and Roga, that could do it. What a clutch by Scarf.
That was too close for comfort, I think, for both players, but what a way to take it back from Scarf. And that's only the first game. What's the most impressive? We are seeing just themselves throwing at each other, sending everything they have, and we're still on the first game.
It's the mark of a true competitor, right? To really consider your health as a resource, to not stress about the fact that this is what the state you're in, right? One touch to finish off the first game, and instead focus on how best can you make the next, that last touch actually count to the fullest extent. Of course, you do have to overextend yourself into a very risky situation where the opponent is just very much in a position to trade with their health, find that last match to steal away the round. Now, got Scarf looking to not repeat that situation, starting things off nice and aggressive. Good life lead. The burst already spent by Revill and trapped in the corner, which I wall break coming up very soon.
Certainly, and once again, all the tools are on Scarf's side. Good blocking on Revill, even blocking the overhead, but there's a how much you can react to, and please stand up if you do that, because if you are standing up, you are a liar. Scarf take another one down, and a perfect this time.
That mix was so crazy. Hit him with the mid, but the fact that it was just in the corner, out the corner, jumping from up to down, so many directions to keep track of, and ultimately Revill does lose the plot. The burst is being spent, though, met with an excellent anti-air. Now a little bit in control, trying to run the pressure. Looks to have dropped it, but there's the anti-air. The Beta Blades are starting to come out to challenge these pressure situations. The shimmies as well, but no whiff punish. They are stalling, as both players are just trying to dance around this corner position.
Yes, and now it's going to be Scarf to get the big counter hit. Gonna set up that rope against the wall. Yep. Just send it. Kagebunshin no Jutsu. Very much indeed. Solid damage, not that much, but just gets the tools. Oh! Good checks on Revill. The pokes are working. And the counter hit. That's going to be more than enough.
I like the PRC attempt, hoping to get the slowdown, but unfortunately didn't quite work out. And the 6P able to challenge beautifully, like you said, in that neutral situation. Already the DPs starting to fly out here, trying to interrupt all this scary offense. And there it is, the whiff punish. That's the rope here, keep the combo rather short. Revill into the corner, being slippery as always, making sure to not get caught up by some of these larger normals. And just like that, fighting Revill to press at the wrong moment and primed with the counter hit responses. We're going to get the super wall break here to the hard knockdown, generating that tension off that positive meter bonus, and look at how scary this pressure is.
It's too scary for anyone right now. Oh, beautiful read there, catching that burst. That's not going to be enough to kill because Chipp's damage is still almost a joke, but Revill on the verge of death. And there it is, only one more low. Scarf gets it 2-0.
Yeah, definitely starting to get a little bit more of a footing here, but it's going to be hard to say if Revill can actually make this comeback happen, because even on the pixel health, Scarf is able to win these rounds. There are, of course, moments where the momentum is too squarely in Revill's favor, where it just isn't possible to make that comeback occur. Nevertheless, it just feels that Revill is kind of a step behind Scarf at all times, even with all the mix that he can throw out. There's just an overall sense that Scarf has the download.
Yeah, I think the correct word there is that Revill is completely overwhelmed. Too much on every side, you try to do anything, but it's working half the time or not working. Yeah, it's not good for anyone, and probably the mental is starting to suffer. In the meantime, Scarf is just sending it, putting all the pressure they can onto Revill, but oh, that's a big catch.
Oh, very much indeed. Unfortunately, doesn't have a lot of stamina to keep the pressure running, nor the tension to compensate for it, but you get that 2K2D quickly into the RTL. It's not going to be killed just yet, but a lot of damage, a significant life lead, a hard knockdown, and a positive meter bonus. All the while, the stamina is also regenerating, but we're just going to keep it nice and simple to the basics. 2k, 2d, and even just the Hawkbaker for assurance.
Okay. Trying to confirm, maybe Revill is starting to get the download onto Scarf. Beautiful DP. Trying to get the party started, but that's a jump out and a full combo from Scarf. That's going to be the wall break. And well, more of the usual. Knockdown positive. And the party has started.
Beautiful stuff here. Great confirms. Unfortunately, mosquito damage is going to mean that there's a little bit more work ahead for Scarf after this wall break. However, it does have a good amount of resources to work with here. The run up PRC into the command grab puts things onto set point here. Both players with their burst available. Can Revill make a dent? Can Revill put one on the scoreboard?
Difficult to say. Scarf is just playing out of their mind right now, but no! Missing a DP, mid boost, trying to salvage the situation. Okay, gets the grab. Yeah. Oh. Good pokes and oh! Big catch from Revill. That's a lot of damage put onto the Scarf.
Exactly. The hard knockdown, unfortunately, not capitalized upon Scarf. Getting away for the time being, but once again, finds the tags in neutral, has the resources to convert, and Revill is able to put one on the scoreboard. Looking alive now. Is this the sign of a reverse sweep or an opportunity more for Scarf to take the lead he has in the set to counter-adapt? Time will tell. It's a very tricky approach that Scarf has to take, because of course he does look very dominating, especially with some powerful call-outs, but ultimately has to play that dance around these sin normals, and especially the conversion ability behind his character can do some lethal damage considering the defense rating of Chipp.
I mean, yeah, but at the end, Chipp is just made to dance on the edge. And it's going to depend on how well can Scarf dance. And as of right now, that's a beautiful ballet that we are seeing. What a beautiful waltz. Revill on the verge of death. All the resources for Scarf, and that is Scarf on set point right now.
Beautifully done. Has the burst available as well. Revill not too far off from their own either. What a 5p anti-air to call out that air dash. When you see the early burst coming here to cut the momentum a bit short, looking for those shimmies, trying to bait a response out from Revill, but Revill nevertheless finds that 2k2d tag, bring him all the way to the corner, and there's the overhead straight into the tire barrel, conserving one more stamina point for this post-screen tradition situation, so the next hit can provide a lethal combo.
Yes, one more touch for Revill, but Scarf is not going to make it easy for it. That's a good start. Half-Life on Revill against the corner, and the drift grab. Salvaging a very bad situation. Still having burst, that's very important.
No, though. Currently staying in the corner. We see crazy shimmies coming out of here from Scott. Unfortunately, not in time to get that whip punish. Similarly again, but just keeping the pressure ramped up, inevitably is going to find that one opening. Chipp is just too fast with too many options. There's surely something is bound to hit. With the jump in, bullied into towards the corner, but an opportunity to air dash away. If the burst trying to capitalize on that situation with the jump over. Big drive of the RC to convert into the rope set for some more damage. Conversion, corner carry, and the mix up thereafter. The RC finish the play, perhaps?
No! That dropped, and now Revill has a chance immediately push for Scarf, but Revill still is not letting Scarf go. That's a full RPL. A lot of damage. And more importantly, positive bonus for Revill. Getting more resources, the riches get richer. But
what a challenge there. 2k2d and the meter coming up just clutch in time for that extension. And Scarf pushed a bit more to the edge by Revill is still going to clean it out. 3-1.
my god, Scarf and Revill know how to put a match, and well, that was something to see and enjoy. And more importantly, that's a banger of a final we have, and Revill still not done.
No, and as the loser side of the bracket is starting to fill out, right? We got IML 777 making it in. We're going to be facing off against Scripter, which is always a pleasure to watch. However, Scripter, so for you lapses being out of the loop, Scripter, we've all known for the really crazy, insane call-out soul playstyle, but as you might see now, he's rocking that Venom.
Yeah, I've watched that previous match. I was hanging out there on the stream and managed to catch that Venom game, and my god, that was a very bold amount of command grabs we've seen. That's almost a callback onto Xrd's way to play him. Minus the teleports, obviously.
It's very interesting, the fact that Scripter is largely coached by Xrd players, and it definitely shows in his Strive gameplay. But for Venom, right, like there was a direct link, at least, that the person that was coaching him was a soul player from Xrd. But for Venom, I don't know if it's still the same or a substitute has been found. Nevertheless, we will see. But Wanted Frankie coming in here with the raid to another 30 troops tapping in on the stream. This is as good as time I need to remind everybody about the match Reno. And we made some really solid progress since we've shielded, right? We're down to 26 codes remaining, so definitely a good job there on that boost. We have more than enough viewers, so especially for all the raiders, tap it in. Make sure to claim a code, get comfortable, enjoy the remainder of this bracket because we have some top-notch action coming up ahead.
Certainly, that's it. This is going to be top 8 losers. That's IML versus Scripter, banger of a match. Trust us, this is a banger of a match. Testament Venom, a little bit more on the range side, but still. If you haven't seen both players earlier in the tournament, please go back and watch it after this game. Thank you very much. Mm-hmm. Those were some gas.
Yeah, and I think the craziest part about this is that these are two, I think, pretty underrepresented characters. I mean, Venom heavily so, but we don't get to see Testament enter top 8 all too much. From time to time, of course, people do put in the work on them, but it's always a pleasure to see this character make his appearance.
Exactly. If not just to break the monotony of several characters that are always a little bit overrepresented, if we want to say it like that, but the more the better, as they say. And right now, Scripter just sending out the bill onto Mr. 77-7.
Looking to try and get the tag with the Stinger aim, but unfortunately, just some of the callouts coming out from IML a little faster. Nevertheless, it is going to be Scripter that finds that significant final touch in that first round. Observing the burst all the while.
Yes, and now a little bit of more mid-range gaming, checking the distances, and A.B.A finding the space, missing with the crow. That's a shame. But good pressure.
Yeah, especially that last IB on the Grave Reaper there, the setup for that back throw. And now trapped in the corner. And look at these setups. The situation. There's a little bit of looping as one of the beauties that Scripter does have, or like advantages that Scripter has going for him, is the fact that Venom so heavily underrepresented means that not a lot of people have the experience of playing this character, so aren't really prepared to respond to what he can do to you.
That's true, and interesting situation. Both players sending out the supers. Nostrovia being completely nullified by a downward stinger, and the Bishop also getting a little bit nullified for a RazChan at the end. Scripter just wins it. That was a little bit of a mess of a round. Wouldn't you agree?
I mean, it's going to be kind of in Scripter's playbook that it does get kind of messy, where for times he'll have really good callouts, especially like we saw early on, the air throw, the jump back, air normals and such, the grabs, the IBs. But it's just the nature of Venom, I suppose, where he has to take a risk. He needs to play a little bit more setup by getting these ball sets compared to just IML, who can sling Grave Reapers and occasional Crow, and then from there, right, you might get the Stain to then get the more extensive combos you come to expect from Testament.
Yeah, that's true. At the end, Venom does live and die by the blertsmile. Okay, a little bit of zoning on both sides is going to be Scripter at the end. That's going to try to get in. A.B.A leaking a lot of life compared to Scripter, but both players just trading.
They jump in. The IBFD creates a lot of space, but still, you gotta be careful with Testament. Space is no problem to them. That's in a range that they're perfectly happy to occupy. Up close is also fine, so long as they're in control of the pressure game. As we're seeing here, IML now setting up for the throw to take the round lead here in game 2.
Okay, couple of stingers. Good jumping, but it's going to be blocking fair right now. And then back to the preferred range. That do happen with characters that do love that mid-range. Oh, TML going to find the spacing, immediately calling for the Nostrovia. It's going to make a mark onto Scripter.
Certainly a good chunk of momentum already in IML's favor. There's going to be the burst as Scripter needs to make something happen here, make a comeback occur, but touch into the RC, not going to find the kill just yet, but locks him down. Gambles on the overhead, and it works out quite nicely here as ILM ties up the set 1-1.
Hey. I'm enjoying that chat right now, just saying how you can just nuke yourself a little bit on the foot by using set. I mean, I've seen before the mega seto from Scripter. There are moments that make sense, but if not, yeah, that's just how to lose 101 set.
It is what it is. Scripter currently making a call out though that there seemed to be not the most favorable amount of rollback, so expecting to have that affect his performance. But we already got the color swap here as we're just trying to make the approach against IML. Finds the anti-air and nevertheless is able to keep the screen position advantage. Has to be careful, of course, the range that Testament can play at.
Yeah, and IML just, I think, trying to fish for a gold burst a little bit too ambitious there. Wasting those resources, and now Scripter finding the momentum, trying to get the party a little bit started, but yeah, you can do some damage, but if you're not killing, then what? Dark Angel.
They're trying to jump away.
Just jump over.
I mean, it's definitely a really strong tool to shut down one position of movement, right? Like, you can't go along the ground, so the only option you have is to go to the air. As Scripter did try to make sure that IML couldn't escape the corner, but doesn't quite position properly for that, excuse me. But nevertheless, able to clutch out the round all the same.
Yeah, and then that to happen in a moment, but now, okay. Good recovery, little boost out of IML. That finds the opening. That's going to be the full combo, and Tesla's full combo is kind of nutty. Nostrovia just to put the topping on the cake.
Oh, that might have been a throw attempt there from Scripter. But IML keeping the pressure, the momentum nice and consistent. Going to bring her back down to a round of piece situation. Going to be the early touch here for Scripter, starting to pick things off with. What a challenge. They're going back and forth, but it is IML that is trapped in the corner. But the jump in was an attempt paying off quite nicely here. But first, momentum using the thing aim to just harass from range.
Good. That's a good read from Scripter, going to put IML onto the corner, but just to get out of there with the diagonal Grave Reaper. A little bit of pause, a little bit of thinking, just sending the couple of balls, the Stinger, spam, and it is another Dark Angel. This time the air is going to be controlled, and Scripter gets the round.
Yeah, that's a clean setup. A beauty of Strive not being able to tech out in the air, so just gets slammed straight into the Dark Angel, waiting for IML on the ground like a hungry shark. So that is now 2-1. Excuse the earlier scoreboard mishap there, as it was 1-1. Now 2-1 in Scripter's favor.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and that is Badur. So we are playing Venom, and Badur appears.
Of course. Badur did have an interesting essay about Venom's implementation into Strive. Everyone who wants to hear what a seasoned Venom Xrd main has to say about the subject.
Probably, I haven't read it, but probably nothing good.
Scripter faces the visual aspects of it, but then there's some mechanical problems.
Back onto the important part, which is the game. We are seeing top players trading a little bit of damage, and right now we are seeing Scripter just getting the command grab. Life is more or less equal, but now Scripter going to get a good advantage, just sending the stingers, evading the Arbiter, and just running up and killing IMLs. That's a set point for Scripter.
Yeah, the burst gate situation is slightly in Scripter's favor, already at the 50%, so able to access some of the additional burst gauge mechanics. And pressure off quite nicely here. Good control. Has to be careful, of course, at times, but Testament can still play at the range that Venom likes to operate at. And especially just directly to, as Scripter still needs to set up these balls sometimes for a little bit more controlled and stronger neutral presence. We can see a lot of play around Q5 with Stinger Aim for the time being. Are seeing forward on the clash frames where there is no more hitbox on the Grave Reaper there.
Yeah, both players. Beautiful trades as of right now, and Scripter finds the opening. That should be more than enough, and Scripter advancing deeper onto the bracket. That's a top 5 finish as of right now, and sadly IML is getting out. Banger of a performance, either way.
Truly. Yes, definitely very impressive indeed there, especially for Scripter to be bringing the spotlight to a character like Venom, which, yeah, we genuinely do not get to see often enough. It's an unfortunate case, I think, with the lifespan that Strive is in now. When a character releases that isn't immediately broken off the rip, right, like just significantly stronger, that it is, you know, for somebody who's interested in the character, it's a no-brainer to make the swap. And instead, it's just the character to put in a lot more work. Why would you get off the character that you have been playing for, assumedly years, right? Years of experience being building up carefully to pilot your character as accurately and expertly as possible. Kind of left Venom, I think Unica to an extent as well, Lucy definitely in these kind of positions where nobody really wants to pick them up, but thankfully there are the odd few very high skill players that are willing to invest in them and demonstrate that it's not all doom and gloom, as they say. It's still tricky, but it's not impossible.
I agree, but at the end, if you are not married with the concept of the character, either it be on gameplay visuals or aesthetics, you're not going to make the change, because that's if you already spend like 600 hours on a character, you are going to spend another 600 more, well, a little bit less because the base mechanics of the game you are already solid on those, but still, that's a lot of commitment for what? Just better feels? I understand the chances if you do in Season 1, 2, expecting it to do at least 3 seasons, 1, 2 is doable, 3 can be tricky, but if they throw something that's broken as fuck, just do it. It's the correct thing to do, technically, competitively. But for weaker characters, it's a love thing. Either you love it or you just don't use it. And it's sad.
Speaking of commitment, what's not as high commit as picking up a lower power level character is claiming these Matcherino codes, where we are moving along with them quite neatly here, as we are now down to 19 codes remaining. So thank you everybody that is still tapping in at this time, claiming these codes. The job is not done yet. We are approaching the end of the bracket, and we still have a few left with a more than enough surplus of viewers that it should be impossible to end this without having claimed all the codes. So make sure to send it over. It's a very quick process. You just hit the exclamation mark Matcherino in the chat. You will get the link. Head on over to the site, hit the claim code button, sign in if you haven't done so already, and that's all you have to do. You'll have contributed 25 cents to the prize pool. Step 1 has already been completed for you by Lapsus, so don't let that deter you from supporting these players, right? Coming out, giving them a sign of the interest that it still is for Strive, giving them that little extra on that prize pot that they're fighting for here, and getting those kebabs sorted at the end of the bracket for the winners.
Yeah. Because remember everybody that the kebab install is the best install that we have on the game. 17 codes remaining, which is nice. But if we take into account that we are past 110 people on chat, I am not mathematician, but I know for a fact that 110 is way greater than 17. Therefore, go claim a code if you haven't, please. Because more importantly, it's free money, it's for the players. Remember, no one that's doing this stream gets any money from Macherino. I think. If not, I am going to be silenced in 3, 2...
Gotta keep our yachts a secret. Like, the only time we get to bring them out is for EVO France, where we boat over, we park in the TO designated yacht lot, and then stroll on over to the venue. You know how it goes. But
well, no.
In this case, right?
This year is going to be different. We are going to boat to Monaco, take the Ferrari from there to Nice, and then be boozing.
I feel like having to go to Monaco first is like lesser TO status, where you have to still make the Lambo travel, whereas, getting your yacht parked right outside the venue. Say you have, a good day of games, and you think like, all right, let's venue's closing, all right, get some dinner, and then we head over to the yacht for some extra sets plus sleep, right? Just right there, listen to the sounds of the ocean, soothing you as you prepare for the day after. Having to still drive back, don't know about that.
I mean, but Monaco, and if not, and more importantly, on your position, you can do Kimi Raikkonen. Oh, you burnt out of pools. You get straight into your pool.
Yeah. Walk off straight to your yacht, hang out, watch the pools from there. Man, we will never get another driver like Kimi for F1. It's truly a shame.
Sadly not. Too much don't give a fuck energy.
No one will beat the Iceman like that. Yeah, just waiting on our next players, Goose and Lisper. Goose making some pretty decent runs as of late. They're repping the Johnny, who we've seen a substantial absence from since the changes have been made to the character, and the Goose still showing that it's not all doom and gloom on them. And Lisper also making some appearances as well, repping a character we also don't get to see too often, Goldlewis.
I think it. I know that I've been a little bit out already, but as far as I remember, so please don't shoot me already. Give me a moment to almost not redeem myself, but Johnny's changes were for the better. It was too toxic before, too easy to just confirm anything, and damage was Johnny's damage, which is in this game not good. And Goldlewis is... Please kill Goldlewis, or at least that was my opinion before. I told you, it's been too long since I've played, so...
Yeah.
You need to correct me.
It's, they're still fairly strong characters. Like you said, a lot of Johnny's belligerent nature has been toned down, especially those dashes, but nevertheless, the character can still confirm form a lot. Of course, needs to play significantly around that card set. Something like Goldlewis, a little slow on the movement, but if Lisper can get started, if Lisper can put Goose trapped in the corner where Johnny only has those system mechanics, otherwise 50-meter for a reversal respawn, it's going to be quite the victim.
Yeah, it's not going to be nice on Goose's end, but that's a good pressure there. Just sending it, doing Johnny's thing, and also doing something that I think I've never seen someone do on a stream, using the upwards slash. Not that used in my opinion, and a great tool on a pinch.
It might be a situation as well that Goldlewis is just that tall that even if he's standing on the ground, you can still get hit by the S-Liner there. But nonetheless, Lisper finding an opportunity to swap Goose in towards the corner. They're now trapped, holding this pressure where even it may not be an opening just yet. Look at all this chip damage with those security cancels, no less, with the JP air to where doesn't get the full conversion, but keeps Goose trapped. Look at that air throw, just outside of range, and Goose hang out first round in the clutch situation.
That was a nice one, and Lisper just sending on the damage, but Goose's defense is pretty tight. Evading most of it, just letting that chip go through, even though that chip is the worst part, but better than nothing. Now, tries to set up the card, that's going to be good defense on Lisp's side, still standing strong, and now there's a counter, even another upwards final against the wall, no super to a little out of range, just send the damage.
Yeah, Fighter, great anti-air if you're able to get it to come out. It's the right opportunity here. The Wild Assault trying to get by a potential misfighter there. Card set typically is the Johnny Brain to immediately leverage it, right? Get that guard crush and start getting a bit of chip damage as well as an opportunity to advance forward. So good attempt there by Lisper, but Goose is aware of these mind games. That's 50 meter to their name. Going to use it to YRC, and there is the Nsenga Buster. Getting that little shimmy in the first game going to Goose.
Gentlemen, we have a Goose on the loose.
Honk.
I am not sorry for that.
Untitled Goose game in the works.
Yes. And I have
But
to tell me.
The beauty of the sets that we've been having so far has been that the scores look quite dominating, but these players have been really going back and forth per round. So it's going to be one of those situations where somebody only considers the state of the game by scores alone, that they're going to have a very different, highly misinformed opinion.
Yeah, this is going to be a tournament of... You can read the scores, but we highly recommend you to just shut up and watch the games, because you are going to be entertained.
Or don't if agenda posting is what you're about. Goose here, starting things off quite nicely, gets a wall break. Sadly, no super to the hard knockdown. Gives the opportunity here for Lisper to get these few hits in, as the life lead that Goose had is slowly disappearing. Thankfully able to survive what could have been another wall break with the JK from the top rope. Which not able to get to confirm, but the 2S does tag Lisper for the round secured by Goose.
That was too close for comfort, and Lisper almost had Goose locked on there. That was kind of a lucky break, and Goose is just going to capitalize on it. That's already putting some pressure. Lisper makes the assault, gets the damage in, immediate boost, not wanting to deal with any of Lisper's shit.
Using the S-Finder there to tag Lisper in the air, getting the hit, denying the Thunderbird pressure to push Goose towards the corner, but they jump out here immediately with the swap, and look at this damage. Every life lead that Goose develops early on is so critical in these matches, because they can only survive a few hits before they're gone, just like that. Gonna go into the final round of game 2. Goose a little bit of a greater burst gauge advantage compared to that of Lisper.
Certainly. Now, Goose, good sequences. Getting that card set, trying to put some damage, trying to break those defense. There is a little bit more. Lisper's defense is good, but there is a limit on how much you can do. Goes for the reset there. Lisper gets caught again. Another contact and Nsenga, and now we have enough for the super, but no. No super. Trying to rely on it, trying to go for the blue.
Oh, nice, yeah. Tags in the air, able to push him down into the Thunderbird. Get that slide extension, but when you go for the OTG burst to make sure, and oh my goodness, the laser beam, PRC forward, trying to get the throw, looking for that little bit of invulnerability, but nevertheless able to survive for the most part. As Lisper couldn't quite capitalize on that lockdown situation to get those openings, and now it's a question of can Goose get that final touch? While Assault comes out, no punish sadly. But able to get the straight here into the PRC, reacting just in time to get that 5k and get that final touch for the game win here as we are 2-0.
I think I am enjoying the way Goose is playing, but there are moments that I think they should have gone for a super to just at least get the knockdown. I don't know you, but my heart was saying go for the super, get the knockdown, which is more important at that point. You can get the card, get the setup, and then start going for it. If not, we've seen it. Lisper almost getting back onto the game just through sheer aggression, and right now we are seeing it. Pure damage, and Goose is almost deleted from the game.
Yeah, it's a really tough spot for Goose, but we see the PRC going forward, able to get the confirm off the slowdown, the Skyfish just to finish things out here. Can Lisper take that momentum once again and put a game on the scoreboard here? Time will tell, as already Goose is just starting to meet air to air, versing into the corner, but there's the burst, denying the wall break opportunity.
good sequence there, Rolando. Lisper's defense is good, managing to find the opening, side switching, getting the overhead, keeping the pressure on, going low, no. But there's the grab. Tension and security. That's going to be, yep, full send it, nope.
That one extra Thunderbird down with the system. We're gonna confirm it for Lisper here. Some solid hits to secure the third game being not free. This has been an interesting trend that we've seen in the bracket so far. I think we've had 1-3-0. And even then, right, the sets are still close. This was probably one of the more dominating ones we've seen.
As of top 8, yes, only 1-3-0. Everybody else is going to... Has already been only 3-1, so if Goose wins, still on point.
Here we go, game 4, starting things off with the Wild Wallace hold, able to get an opening here, pushing Goose towards the corner, but it doesn't leave Goose without trying to challenge. Fortunate to throw, not quite in the mark, having to spend the burst, but all of that same, he's able to keep Lisper trapped in the corner for now.
Very much in lead, and the damage is starting to rack up. No super on that position, so Justin Senga get the damage, but Lisper is getting out swinging. That's a big catch, and that's a lot of damage on Goose.
Yeah, trying to jump up against the Thunderbird, making sure not to hold a 50-50 there, but had a good read there on the super, but the range just not being in Goose's favor here. And look at Lisper just pelting him with these Behemoth Typhoons, but going to mash, finds the back throw here. Now trapped in the corner, has to make this last bit of health count, because should Lisper find that touch, that should be lights out there for Goose.
Oh, and it's going to be not lights out yet. The minigun, no! A little bit too out of there, a little bit too out of the range. Lisper still standing strong, only one more game, and there's a chance for that 5th one. And Goose unlocking, it's bleeding time, Goose.
Really rough go at it here, as already another dominant round by Lisper, and with that final touch, just gonna get the kill. Nice, clean, and simple. No burst available for Goose. That's a 2-2. Is Lisper going to be able to pull off the reverse sweep comeback?
Difficult to say, because we've seen both ends. First games, Goose just, I wouldn't say styling, but showing off why Johnny can still be Johnny. And then Lisper just saying, well, you had a pretty couple of games, time to show you pure American muscle. No, technically Johnny's also American, but...
It could be a case that Lisper, with the 2 games, well, the 2 games deficit from prior, took it as a moment to learn how Goose likes to pilot with Johnny and try to get the answers from between. As an excellent anti-air is going to have to prompt, or is going to prompt Goose to get the burst out to deny the momentum, as Lisper has been very, very deadly with that if he keeps the pressure up.
Yeah, that's a good amount of pressure, finally getting in on the last Typhoon, but still, ouchie, Goose, a little bit too low on life. Kart is going to get the hit, but no confirm, a couple of stray ones, but there's nothing that can stand before a Typhoon.
Nothing indeed here, and what a reversal. It is going to be Lisper now on set point with the burst available. Goose not too far off from their own. 6k anti-air, starting things off quite nicely, chipping away at the health of Lisper. This is a good start. This is how we've seen Goose win these rounds prior, right? At the very least, having a significant life lead, to be able to take some of these bad trades, take some damage from Lisper without being put net too harshly on the back foot.
Trying to fish something there, Lisper, but Goose just going through the motions, and that was a little too much telegraph, I think, at the end. Lisper gets the hit, gonna put Goose onto the corner. There's a burst on Goose's side, but I don't know if they're going to take full advantage of it. Lisper is just pummeling them against the wall, and that's death! And the burst still unused!
So, I think Goose honestly thought he had a little bit more they had a bit more opportunities there, but ooh, just the tip damage coming out from all of those Behemoth Typhoons. Like, Lisper was really hammering it down, and with that last hit, the wall splat, denying the opportunity to utilize the person, and just enough damage off the Behemoth Typhoon plus wall break combo. Lisper making that reverse sweep happen. Very, very impressive stuff.
Very impressive in more. And more on the meta side is the, I think, break on the tournament. We have a pretty consistent top 8 until we see Lisper there, top 13, breaking it a little bit. That's some great Guilty Gear we are seeing.
Truly, indeed. As we're going to be moving on to our next round of losers, as Revill will be facing off against Scripter. And following that, of course, we're going to see the recently winning Lisper going to face off against Son. As we're moving on nicely in this bracket. Similarly, we are also progressing pretty decently in codes being claimed from the match Reno. So don't hesitate, as always, per game or per set, we will remind you to make sure that we get all these codes claimed out, especially with the surplus of viewers we have compared to total available codes. There should not be any troubles to get these things sorted, get them all claimed out. So Matcherino link already in chat. Thank you, Lapsus. Head on over, hit the claim code button, sign in if you haven't done so. And once you complete that process, you've contributed 25 cents to the prize pool. Every little bit helps. And we'll be demonstrating the interest that's still around for Strive, supporting these players coming in week after week to put on some of this high quality action for you all to enjoy.
Yeah. Just go there and claim the code. You have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 matches, 7. There's still time? Yes. But we will highly appreciate if you just claim those now. Straight up.
You're really out of the loop here, Lapsus. You're saying the forbidden number combination. You gotta be careful.
My bad. I am not young enough to still understand that.
There's nothing to understand. All you have to know is that when you say it, it sets off the zoomers. So watch out.
They just need to grow out of this.
No, but it's funny.
Back in my days!
Back in my days, we used to post a picture of Markiplier with the word E on it. That was funny. There we go. It's going to be the game of a long range between these two. But of course, the conversion ability is going to be very different compared to one another, as with the stamina gauge, Revill can easily access it to do some damage. What's that, like 2, 3 good touches right there and immediately just a round secure?
Okay. Sin doesn't need that much to just confirm the damage. And alluding to the game that we had before, we had Testament versus Venom. Both players a little bit more on the range side, less confirmability of their move. And this time we have also characters that like to play a little bit more on the range, even though Sin way closer, but still you can take the idea. But the chances that Sin has to just convert anything are exponential compared to that Testament. So similar but different is what if you've seen the previous match.
Yeah, you can see that Revill. The question as always when dealing with a character largely underrepresented like Venom is how much matchup experience do you have, right? Do you find the opportunity to not only get somebody playing a Venom, but somebody that pilots it really well to learn and adjust appropriately? Because earlier we saw some struggles on Revill's end, attempting to respond to a lot of these neutral situations or the pressure sequences coming out from Scripter, but challenging as always. And now here comes the Dark Angel, sacrificing a lot of tension to survive it.
Oh, but Revill still standing strong. It's going to beat a sheesh ton of stingers. Could not confirm the first one. The second one can, but now back to full screen. Manages to get in, spends all the resources. There is only tension right now. No stamina. We are getting now to half boost.
Ooh, what a call out there. That's pretty risky one too as well, considering the life total that Scripter was at, right? One wrong guess, and that's going to be the round or the game even for Revill. But Scripter clutching it out, take that first game, and we can see definitely the pressure and control that he's able to exert over Revill, as they struggle to find that response in the pressure situations when the distance is just maintained by Scripter and pelting with the Stinger aim. Sometimes the ball set in between from the Q5 just to change up the timing a little bit, and Revill hasn't quite found an answer to it just yet.
But now, oh, good catch by Skipper forcing an immediate push out of rail, but the zoning was kind of there, even though that Revill just managed to get through, gets a couple of good hits. That's another Tyrant Rail. That's what, putting Skitter almost at death's door if we are counting by the damage capabilities.
It's like that. Definitely the game plan for Scripter is, of course, to constantly play the Death by 1,000 cuts game plan, where unfortunately not having the greatest conversion potential with the likes of Venom compared to that of Sin. It's going to be about these early touches that he acquires and is able to consistently maintain momentum to make sure that Revill can't get the Sin game plan running. And already we can see just a looping sequence that is working out quite nicely for him, right? Set the ball, punch it forward, and jump right above his head to create a very ambiguous 50-50 that only the game really decides what side it's going to hit on.
Certainly, but if everything goes according to plan, it works. 100% of the time works every time, as they say. But Skitter needs a lot of work. And one part is more important. Revill already has spent the burst. Reset for Skitter. Oh, trying to go for the Mega. A little bit too ambitious there. And Revill is going to find the opening. Skitter onto the corner. It's the overhead. That's no bueno.
Certainly not. With his life deficit, we've seen how these rounds typically like to play out for Scripter, especially with Revill able to keep the pressure going with the hard knockdown off the super wall break. But Scripter finds opportunity to challenge, deploys the Dark Angel. You can see immediately meeting him air to air and just dragging him as far as possible towards the corner, utilizing the ball set to continuously harass and bully Revill into the corner. Tries to get the BRC forward, but unfortunately it doesn't quite work out. Stingray hitting the Hawk Faker, patiently waiting for an opportunity to punish. The burst available, but splatted at the wall just at the end there. Scripter clutching it out, able to put a 2-0 lead so right now.
That, I mean, is that one? I am enjoying more and more the way that Skitter is using that Dark Angel, the way that, as you said before, is just, I am going to deny this lane of action and just play on the other way. That's going to benefit, that I'm going to be better at you. So, good luck. That's a way to say, I'm just going to take neutral back. Please and thank you.
Yeah, it's just the infinite impermanence of Strive. Anyone familiar with the Yu-Gi-Oh trap card?
I mean, but this is not. You can't use this in response to any chain link.
No, true. You can't use a
no
response.
Monsters. Yeah.
But the lane denials on trap set.
I agree. No, yeah, I know. I don't play Yu-Gi, but I know a little bit.
Alright, here comes
Okay.
infinite impermanence.
Oh, he tried to go for a charge dash there, getting a couple of balls almost ready to go, but beautiful dive kick out of Revill is just going to go and kill him.
Yeah, dive kick, great as always to just change up the air timing of your approach as your opponent is waiting patiently to try and anti-air you on what they assume is going to be the timing you would land, but the dive kick can change things a little bit here. Revill comes out of the gate swinging here, getting a good chunk of a life advantage, but nevertheless, it's going to be Scripter that finds these openings, puts him towards the corner, but doesn't quite hit the wall break, sadly. It's back to neutral.
Yeah, I think it's been a couple of times that we've seen Scripter not getting those wall breaks. I don't think if that was intended to go with the ball that was already set or just edge of the range, but it's not working out as probably Skitter wanted to. And now Revill is just putting on the hurt.
Now we'll do it. Hurt indeed.
Yeah.
And trend running solid as always. We were not getting people 3-0'd, making that final game recovery to at least represent themselves on the scoreboard here. Is it going to be enough for Revill to do a little bit of a Lisper play here and make a reverse sweep, or is Scripter going to keep to the trend and finish off this game right here, moving on forward into the losers semifinals? Okay, Venom gameplay can't be that boring.
No, it's not boring. It's just that I am, I am sleepy.
This guy
Having
yawning at the side of Venom. Oh my goodness.
No, I am yawning on the fact that my new work asks me to ask me if you want, I understand me. I need to commute like 40 minutes in transit from the city and start at 8, which means that I need to get up at 6:30. I am not enjoying that, but work is work.
Adulting hard. Just like the situation. Quite tough here for Revill. Does find an opportunity to get that 6P going, but Scripter answering right back with a momentum burst, but an unfortunate conversion error, especially quite costly. We think the Hawkbaker there going to get a massive punish. It's going to be Scripter on set point here. However, I think the burst is a pretty good opportunity for Revill to make some damage really count.
Yeah, and this is a way to start already putting Scripter locked onto that corner. Don't let Scripter go, don't let them breathe, just put the damage. Don't do that thing, but beautiful catch.
Done. Just keeping them at bay for the time being, right? Trying to use that life advantage to force Revill to approach. In the meantime, you can set all kinds of traps and obstacles for their approach, but Revill does successfully make the entry, but 6P going to deny the pressure straight into the Dark Angel. Going to be using a little bit of that infinite impermanence to make sure that a lane is denied for approach. Opening is found. And the YoKai makes the guest appearance. The air-to-air, unfortunately, able to get the full conversion to the ground, but nevertheless sets up for a bit of Oki. See the deflect, or is that, wait, that was IBFD. Oh my goodness.
That was too fast for my eyes.
Yeah, IBFD having a very similar pushback effect to deflect shield. It's always, gotta pay attention to whether the burst gauge was spent or not. Oh my god.
Oh.
No mix. That was hype though. From Scripter to come out here, the very last interaction, just the full stick of butter to go tap dust, fake into low, being like, here's a big orange field for you to react to the coming overhead, and then instead to go just low with it. Very tricky, and one of those things that you gotta represent at the very end of a set to just get that last touch to close things out with. But yes, that's gonna be Scripter, closing out 3-1, moving on forward to the loser semifinals, where we'll be waiting patiently to face off against the winner of Son versus Lisper coming up next.
So we are seeing once again that Goldlewis very from a dominant comeback, and Son just a little bit more on that ram action. It makes it strange to see some of those characters back to back, in a sense that it's been a good while, now they are back, and you remember why you hate those. No, but jokes apart, everybody go for the match. We already only have 13 codes remaining and a banger of a match coming for you. So my recommendation personally, watch this match to conclusion, and then we are going to probably have a minute, because that's going to be the winners finals and not everybody is fully ready to go, so that's going to be the moment to go there and clean the codes. But right now, Son versus Lisper, loser quarters, we are ready to go.
Already aggressive start here by Son, thankfully having quite a bit of range to be able to just compete into Goldlewis, as well as some solid Antares also to deny a lot of these big swinging approaches from the sky. But trapped in the corner, Forty doesn't have the greatest of reversal tooling and Sao, well, when without 50 meter. And you can see that coming to effect here as Lisper just so much in control, and even on an option there, trying to dash in after the clash effect. Lisper is just ready to let the meter rock and just get these punishes running.
Good pressure. Oh, Lisper going to find an opening. Nope. Denied by Son, but that latest one is going to be true. Lisper going to get Son to the corner. Makes them out of there, but the damage has been made and Son is not that healthy anymore.
Up for sure, but the deflect shield coming in clutch here, putting Lisper into the corner. So this is going to be a good opportunity to get that super wall break going, that positive meter bonus running, as well as that hard knockdown. Hopefully, just keep the momentum running, locking at Lisper down in the corner with all these sword sets. We see the YRC going unbaited and immediately leveraging the security cancels, just hammering down on the chip damage to put it down to that final touch to close out game 1.
And out of this game, we've seen Son going way hard on the deflection that I think I've seen anybody do in comparison. And it's not a bad tool, just going in a way that you know that the Typhoon is going to come, deflection, get Lisper out of the vicinity, get a moment to rethink, reconnect with yourself, and start the aggression. But we also seen how those can fail, so it's a double-edged sword. I am not enjoying that much using it, but if it works for Son,
Ooh, big opener here, already dealing a ton of damage, as well as that hard knockdown coming after the security gauge nice and popped up. This could be a very scary situation for Son to live from, but it's like that the Mobado coming out just in time to be able to slip through. But nevertheless, look at just these stray hits. The amount of damage they can do from Goldlewis makes it very scary for Son to press kind of freely here in these exchanges.
yeah, and then trying to set up a case of death there. Son managing to came out of there relatively unscathed, but another freak Typhoon is going to be more than enough. And Lisper trying to start the game blazing while the Assault, but Son is just going for a full combo. Half-Life, it's not that bad.
Not that bad. We've seen Lisper make things work from here, but yeah, wow, the burst coming in just in time before the super was able to connect, because that could have been a really terrible situation for Lisper to follow that wall break with that hard knockdown thereafter. But now, I think the burst on not buying, trying to utilize the life lead here. Oh, yeah, there's just like that. You want to see a magic trick from Goldlewis? Look at that.
I am going to make your life bar disappear by him of Typhoon. Oh, no. Sadly for Son, that was not enough. Blue, not enough. The JH is going to make it. That was too close for comfort at the end.
Done. Finds it overhead, finds yet another good grip of damage. The backdash coming in clutch. Bit of a punish opportunity here now, pushing ahead with the Rekkas, but the patience from Lisper is paying off quite nicely, especially with the life advantage. It's just so scary considering the type of hits that Son's getting. It's not going to do the craziest amount of damage in a lot of situations. However, this is going to do a decent amount with the hard knockdown to follow to allow for some better situations instead of.
Yeah, but remember, there's still... That's a level 3 drone that just passed by like a ship on the dark, but that's some security for Lisper to work with. Blocking the yellow, it's not going to be enough. Back throw incident, there's still the swords there, and there's one sword. Jumping, two swords, more than enough with the Morto, but we are tying this game 1-1.
Really scary indeed here. The dominance that Lisper is able to display here, making it very tricky for Son to get the pressure started, especially like a lot of these hits that he's able to find early on, not being the craziest or just in the realm to compete against that of Goldlewis. So for Son, it's going to be critical to get that early momentum and never let go of it, right? Put him into the corner, start getting those sports sets too, especially he's set up this will he, won't he type of mix-ups around based on the explosion timings.
Yes, and probably not doing a good job managing to block up that burst out of Lisper. Another Morto battle, just bread and butter, break that wall. And the OK, beautifully done. That's going to be another one. And just keep him rolling. If it's not wrong, don't try to fix it. Level 3 drone just going to get completely evaded. Back to a very favorable neutral for Son. Manages to catch that flying Goldlewis, and with that easy conversion, that takes the round.
Yeah, this is the kind of stuff that Son's looking for, right? Like getting those early touches, getting a significant life lead, and putting Lisper in these positions where you have to overextend a little bit here, make some tough calls, try and approach and find these openings where without the health pool and the health advantage, you take some risk and take a bit of damage, get a little bit more apprehensive.
Yeah, but now it's playing I think a little more contained in comparison to before. More safe, but safe is working, and that's a big advantage that Son has in Lisper. But there's the moment that Lisper is going to get the rebuttal. Misses the conversion there, drops it, and Son is just calmly going to back down. This time he's going to eat the drop, which means that immediate burst. Don't want to play with anything there.
Yeah, especially sitting around lead, like, on he's as good as in any position. The low health on Lisper, just trading away the life advantage to eke out that last touch with the air-to-air, connecting into the drone, finds that meaty 2P and able to get that link into it. And Lisper survives the round, bringing it to the final round of Game 3 to see who takes the advantage in the set. A little bit of a burst favorage going towards that of Son, and immediately finds the pressure off, put him into the corner, finds the opening from the overhead here, and he's going to be dealing a nice amount of hurt, but nothing needed for the hard knockdown just yet.
Yeah. Not yet, but the damage is sticking. Full tension, almost full burst, immediately going for that mortal battle. 2-1 for Son.
Son getting a bit more stable footing in the affairs here, as earlier it looked like in that game 2, just a completely different game. So overwhelming was Lisper with the pressure, with the openings that he was able to score, and just the damage conversions built from it, that this definitely didn't seem favorable in Son's case to try and consistently challenge around the longer range normals. And now with a bit more patient play, looking for direct responses and reactions, and occasionally the solid call out and round start, start to see things happening a little bit more akin to what we expect from Son.
It's going a little bit better their way. Beautiful conversion there, Moto Battle. As we said before, bread and butter, just keep it going. It's the thing that you want to do. Put pressure on the corner, but Lisper manages to get out of there a couple of bullets, a drone, and a healthy dose of Behemoth Typhoons are going to be what the doctors order for you. Oh!
Oh, whoa! Enough to get the kill here, though. We're going to go for an expensive corner carry combo here. The wall splat, not quite, not even in that last OTG. It would have been the final touch that Son needed to finish off Lisper here, put him on set point. Now just trying to back away. No security level, meaning that all the specials are a little weaker, aside from going to the human tech runes. Losing the Rekkas, looking out, playing it patiently. Big chip damage coming out. A lot of just blocking here with the laser. Piercing forward, trying to find that last touch, but the two he's going to finish things off. Just for one round away from tying up the set yet again.
Yeah, and Son trying to be cheeky, trying to find that recovery on the kiss of death, but to no avail. Lisper taking another life there, but Son still going hard, going through the emotions, going and another BMB in a sense. Gets the hit, could not confirm. But there's a sword toss, 1-2, no! That one misses.
Stayed away with the JK. Unfortunately, not able to finish the coup just yet, but it takes a health here for Lisper. A significant amount of life for Son does mean that there's enough health to trade, even if there's a really, really bad Behemoth Typhoon hit. That point here for Son. First situation. Only for that, Lisper trying to fill up. It's going to be a minute before that of his comes active, so that means the damage that Lisper gets here and now is going to stick and be rather painful. Look at this already.
And everything that it's through blocks and now eating a full wall break. That's a tremendous amount of damage that was already done to Son. Another kiss of death. Let's see the trade-off. Just trying to send them as much damage and let the Chipp do. And that's a catch. That was something on startup, which means that we're going to game 5.
Indeed, it is going to be the Game 5 situation. Son nearly clutching it out there, but man, just ever so slightly not his favorite. Heartbreaking with that OTG situation. Trying to get that 2K to connect and get that wall spark. Well, 2K did connect, but trying to get that to just be the last touch necessary to trigger the wall splat for the finish, but ooh, not coming in time.
On the final round for both players. One of them is going to continue going through the tournament, the other one sadly eliminated. Son taking a bit of an early advantage, going to put Lisper onto the corner, trading some good damage and the positive bonus there.
Alrighty. Big opener here. Again, situation of Goldlewis with so much health and defensive ratings, able to just tank through a lot of these multi-hit supers and survive. But once again, Son finding that set point position. Both players with the burst available. This is enough to close things out. Already touching against some of these anti-air responses. Playing occasionally a lot of IBing.
Okay. 1-2, that's a good start for Lisper already. I think that good damage onto Son, even though that was almost everything blocked. Trading in Son's favor, that's going to be a wall break, but no super. Oh, we are going to win 5. We are going to final game, final round.
Yeah, that last bait, very, very painful indeed here for Son, because look at the burst gauge differential. Lisper close to getting his active, and that means that Son does have to take the early lead, especially because now that the wall assault has been leveraged, right? That's not going to be the case. But nevertheless, that does set up for some great pressure here by Lisper, pushing Son already into the corner. If not, opening up with Behemoth Typhoon, hammering down with chip damage.
That's a lot of chip damage, and Son is almost dead. There it is, down with the system break, everything, and Lisper does it. 3-2, advancing to losers semifinals, is that? Yeah, advancing to losers semifinals.
So, top 4 could be decided to be PataChu and Scarfed in the winners finals. We're going to be getting that very shortly, followed by Scripter and Lisper, and then we're going to be going into an elimination process to see who makes it into the grand finals. So, as we are nearing the end of the brackets, so are we with the match arena codes, right? We're at 12 remaining. Still though, make sure to get those claimed in, because before you know it, you blink and you miss it, the bracket's already over and we still got codes remaining. And man, do we got viewers to make sure that that shouldn't be the case. So, exclamation match arena in the chat. We'll get you that link. Head on over to the side, hit the claim code button, sign up if you haven't done so already, and then you will contribute 25 cents. I'm gonna say dollars, not that much. 25 cents to the prize pool. Every little bit helps. You'll be supporting these players coming in week after week with this high octane quality action, all for free. So
Yep.
serves to toss them a small bone, right? Let's get them the biggest, juiciest kebabs sorted. And
more importantly, there's only 2 codes left to reach $30.
that too.
It's not that difficult to show for 2 random people of the 108 on chat to just go there and click claim code, as long as you haven't claimed a code already. But yeah, only 2 more people, go claim that code. It's so easy.
Truly.
Okay, come on, it's only 2 people. Winner finals are going to start and we still have 2 codes left for $30, but we are doing Renzo and Alvar. We are at $30, so 10 codes remaining and we still have some games, but we are doing it before winners finals that are going to start right now.
right? Early burst used by Scar. Unfortunately, still the pressure in PataChu's favor, already dealing a ton of damage, constantly finding these throws, right? The frame kill, close slash whiff. You can settle that last throw, but now it's Scarf to control, but and the life deficit, especially here, right, with the life advantage that PataChu had, emboldened to just press. Even if he guesses wrong, not going to be a crazy amount of damage going to come out of Chipp here, so comfortable amount of space to take some guesses.
And I'm going to point a little bit thing. Remember that the first move we saw Scarf on this top 8 was against Revill, and now it's against the final boss on the Chipp, on the scene side, which is PataChu. Different scenes, let's see how they play, because it's interesting to see we have a common cause, which is Scarf versus different scene, and I think the difference, at least on knowledge of the characters, is showing already. PataChu way more fearless to just send everything, in a sense. And with that, Jagger, I think that my point is still valid. We've seen how Scarf dealt with the scene, but PataChu's a different beast, I know, but interesting point to compare how scenes think on this matchup.
It's tricky for sure for Scarf. I think it's more so on the fact that just the damage conversion potential from Sin is what's the scariest factor between these two, because Chipp doesn't have short buttons per se, right? You can tussle a little bit into this range gameplay of Sin, especially play a little bit for whiff punishes here. But once he does get the ball rolling, you can see that kind of bit of a momentum demon, but unfortunately the super not connecting there. Very unfortunate interaction. Very unplanned by Scarf, actually.
Yeah.
Make the most of it, immediately just doing so much damage here, tying up the life totals, but Scarf took the advantage on the no knockdown situation. Look at that, waiting one another out.
Oh, and Scarf getting the last love knock because there was a burst, and instant air dash backwards, catching a random chip, and that's immediately going for the right aligning. And PataChu still going for it. That's a lot of damage.
Big counter hit. That's a throw. The mix up right after there, but patience. And a little stagger pressure going, but not cracking open PataChu just yet. And look at this. IVs and FPs here and there. Just a little bit pushing, going away, and while ready to take the challenge, press, but there it is, the 6P the anti-air. That's up the rope, and the mix-ups are coming out here. Very difficult to block as always.
I will say it's only task capable. No machine, no human is able to block all of those hits, and if you are capable of doing it, please contact us. You are going to be apprehended for cheating. We are joking, obviously, but we are
We're gonna lock you up and study you.
Mm-hmm.
So round a piece, and man, Footsie's right off the bat here. PataChu punishes whiff, slash, straight away into over a half health of damage, and this is kind of just the pain point of playing Chipp in its entirety. But you're not able to make the most of that earlier conversion, or earlier confirm due to not having stamina, but immediately makes up for it right here. And not getting a 3-touch on Chipp is not surprising, but the 2S. Gonna finish off the plate here as PataChu takes a nice comfortable lead, 2-0 right now.
2-0 on a dominant fashion. This last game was just counter hit, rare counter hit, just catching all of those. And yeah, what you said, potential on hit. We know that Chipp can do a lot of damage, but requires a lot of hits, and is prone to breaking slash messing up something. Sin is just, I am hitting you once, I am taking half your life out of a relatively easy combo, which I believe those are. I don't know if they are that difficult.
Some might call it poke slot, who's to say, but already the hard call outs going neatly in PataChu's favor. And you can see these situations repeat itself, right? Where PataChu has the life lead, Scarf Now, down to that last solid touch before the round is over, and immediately puts him in a very scary position where already on pressure, he's a bit more apprehensive, as these big callouts from PataChu can be quite devastating, actually, depending on the start, of course, and the conversion thereafter, but with not a whole lot of life to spare, Scarf's gonna watch out.
Yeah, it's not looking good for Scarf, needing to do a lot of work just to stay afloat right now. But that super easy start is going to get the classical B&B, knockdown and positive, just getting it, but what a call out from PataChu. 6p counter hit against the wall, no super, but doesn't matter, that was a beast of a call out.
Oh wow, the JH working out quite nicely, but decides to air dash away, most likely looking for some kind of burst bait, I assume, but just the PSC, patience, the good reactions from PataChu. This is a seasoned rhythm gamer who has eyes perfectly honed for these fast interaction situations. But Scarf, nevertheless, it's a clean jump in here right over the big driver. It's time for a round piece situation. Is it enough to run on the scoreboard? The early birds coming out from the 2S counter hit. Trying to find these folks, trying to get these whip punches going, but man, look at the call out from PataChu.
That's the poke that PataChu wanted to connect, and that's Chipp on a deathbed right now. One more hit and Scarf is done for, but first PataChu needs to touch Scarf, which is not easy. Tries to catch on the air with a grab, not working. Another rope has been tightened, and Scarf starting to get the party rolling.
Like, what? But PataChu just ate, like, he just decided to eat food during the K Alpha Blade mix-up, or like just the K Alpha Blade pressure. Typically, I don't know, I have to check what the input is if it got mixed up or whatnot, but, you know, that's fire. You just sit there and go like, nah, this is all no problem, man. We're just gonna do a light little taunt here in between your pressure, and then still gonna go bust out with the DP all the same. Impressive stuff there by PataChu. Gonna take the clean 3-0 yet again. I think he's the only one to be pulling off 3-0s so far in this top 8 position. And just like that, right, the winner's side of Grand Finals, a very comfortable spot to be in. And Scarf not out for the count just yet. It's going to be hanging out in Losers Finals for the time being, waiting on an opponent, which is going to be the victor between Scripter and Lisper. Coming up next. In the meantime, state of things, very important. 9 codes remaining. We are doing it, everybody. We are on the sub-10 position, right? The final stretch. And we still got more than enough viewers. So make sure to hop on over, hit that exclamation mark, Matcherino in the chat, get you that link. Click the link, head over to the website, hit the claim code button, sign in if you haven't done so already. And once you complete that process, you've contributed 25 cents to the prize pool. It's free money, and you'll be going a long way to support these players who are giving you such crazy action as eat mid-K Alpha Blade pressure.
And Jacker, we have a situation right now developing on the stage.
Oh.
Scripter is going off script.
Or back on the script. As we are all very familiar with Scripter's soul, seeing the Venom come out is definitely very interesting, but I like to believe that Scripter understands the situation of a character that likes to do a lot of its gameplay based around pokes, right? The likes of Stinger Aim, the Q5, setting up these balls, playing for these longer ranges. When you take a bad guess, and Goldlewis hits you with that Behemoth Typhoon, I don't think that character can compete to the likes of Zulck can.
No, but you have that range advantage if you're sending those stingers. So you are trading what? A DP for range?
Range be damned, this boy can do damage. In response, decides to just jump into it. Unfortunately, not able to get the most out of that counter hit 6H. Now, actually neutral still with the life disadvantage. You can see the kind of the keep away that Lisper is playing here. Actually, the Night Raid Vortex to just circumvent the Thunderbird. However, the Wild Kill being dodged, carefully done by a clean backdash and OCG Behemoth Typhoon with the first round of Lisper's favor.
Good start by Lisper. And sending the big damage, right? Okay, Airbringer, it's not going to work. Eating a full drone. Even more damage going from Lisper. Another Typhoon connecting. Not even the Volcanic Biker is enough Goose trying to buy some space. Okay, Family is hitting. Going there. Okay. It's working a little bit, but not really. That was a wash. I'm sorry for saying it.
Yeah, that was rough for sure, but I think it might just be a question of like how long has Scripted been playing Venom over Soul, right? So it might be a case of just trying to get the footing once more. We do see some very interesting plays being thrown around, such as delay PRC off of the wild throw, just to see if Scripted can't get a counterplay response to somebody trying to punish the whiffed wild assault, or wild throw, excuse me. But no, sadly, that button a little too active, even that low to the ground. Nevertheless, game number 2 already early call out with the 6P, and so same with the DP. A lot of tools already utilized by Scripted. The burst, and times Lisper trapped in the corner, but can he keep this up now?
Trying to go on the air, and that's working a little bit to evade the drone, but that's like the 3rd or 4th wild throw that just misses, and Lisper is just having a field day into the machine gun and just get shredded, my friend.
Yeah, this one's rough, as I believe there is some go invuln window get from Tekken, so going for this the raw throw, wild throw on their wake up requires some very excellent timing to be able to pull off here, but it seems to be really working out too well, as especially Lisper with the nature of the way Scripted likes to interact quite heavily into him. Gets a lot of openings here to just dish out that Goldlewis damage.
Okay, DP is working there, trying to go for aggressive, another DP connecting. That's the way we like to see our Soul bad guy play. 6H evaded, another Thunderbird. Oh, that was an attempt at a goal burst that... I believe that was an attempt at a goal burst.
Yeah, it might be the case that Scripted was very much expecting Lisper to go for some kind of anti-air response, right? To extend his hurt box slightly upwards, that burst is going to be reaching from all the way there up in the sky, but not meant to be, unfortunately. That's right. Scripted taking it out on the Soul, so that's 2 games down. No more do-overs. Gonna have to make every last interaction count. Is he suitably warmed up now to deal with this?
I don't know, at that point I say just send the Venom for the shits and giggles, and if it works, it works. But we were starting to see the work on that Soul shown, so it can happen. It's difficult to say because those 2 games were kind of rough on Scripter's side, and Lisper are still putting the hurts.
Yeah, Oops. Typhoon, but there we go. Quick few openings, and just like that, get the call out the backdash, but not able to make the most of the damage just yet. But here we go, finally. Oh, a little bit more pain, a little bit more red on the Goldlewis health bar, but this is the DRC4 here, sadly. Doesn't have the meter to get that hard knockdown, and usually the Wild Assault comes flying in with the Thunderbird. We'll use the deflex shield to create a little bit of space. The RC to confirm, no, was hoping for that 5k to just do the work on its own.
Yeah, another 6H hitting, and this time the Airbringer is confirming, and Scripter finally, for the first time in the whole series, having been one game ahead.
Oh, nice frame kills. The 5P into the 2k for the meaty throw, dealing just a speed run amount of damage down to that final bit of health. Was hoping for that first connection to connect to be able to get that Skyfish. Gonna swat him out from the sky here. Lisper now on set point. Scripter still has his first available. Is it gonna be enough?
Apparently, Scripter said that he wasn't going to play Venom against big bodies. Respectable.
Understandable.
Yep. And thank you, MetaTank, for the translation, because we believe that might have been that was probably in Cyrillic, and I don't think that you can understand Cyrillic, Yaker.
No, I can't.
Yeah, me neither.
Oh my god, the Skyfish barely not finishing food here, but...
And the kiss of
laser,
death. Oh!
Clean burst, able to slip on through, but we can see the Skyfish pokes here, just to try and find that last bit of chip damage to possibly close out the game. The set right here, interesting options, able to avoid the Wild Assault, dagger pressure. There's a lot of work ahead, and with that health, and just, I think, overall, the set lead. Lisper is willing to just try and interact in here, and we see the backdash cleanly avoiding a wild throw. So that's going to be an unfortunate 3-0 or 0-3 finish there for Scripter as Lisper moves on forward to face off against Scarfed in the losers finals.
That's good. Yeah, beautiful. I mean, Scripter had a banger of a run. I think sadly this loser semifinal was a little bit of a blemish, but still beautiful banger of a run on the Venom, just doing something that we are not used to see. And then Venom is a pretty character to watch play, so it's a banger either way.
Yeah, I think it's added with the fact that it's Scripter of all people piloting, right? As we saw the glimpses of it with the Soul, and it's a very distinct playstyle of his that's high octane with some very hard callouts that can lead to some really crazy situations that truly has people scratching their head of like, why would anybody consider to do that in that position? And so for him to move from a character with a playstyle like that to something like Venom, it does make you ponder what could that look like, and we do see it, and there are signs of the good old Soul or the hectic Soul, but a lot more tame, controlled, and focused on just getting the pressure from afar, getting the opponent to make bad commits into the Stinger aim, Q5 pressure, and slowly chip them to death that way. Speaking of chip, Scarfed versus Lisper, and already out of the gates, Scarfed is swinging in these early hits, and he has to make each one count, because should Goldlewis find that touch? Oh my goodness.
This is a matchup where Chipp is no longer for this world the moment that the matches start, because I think that was 2 decent Typhoons and Chipp's no more, probably. Goldlewis doesn't need that much to just delete a Chipp out of the face of the earth, therefore you're going to see Scarf probably play on the thinnest razor's edge that you've ever seen, but for what's worth, the first game is Scarf not letting Lisper play at all.
Definitely a very smart move that you can try and employ against the big bodies, right? Force them to just hold down back. Unfortunately, doesn't have the greatest buttons to challenge at times, right? Really have to play for commits and hard call-outs, which when they do work, right, it gives a significant amount of damage. Versus some of these characters with really fast normals and suffocating pressure, it can be a challenge, and that's going to be the name of the game here for Scarf, like I said. Just make sure he doesn't get to play the blinding pressure with the mix-ups followed behind it. All should be fine.
Because if not, something like this can happen, and Scarf already lost more than half their life from a very small interaction, another one, and they are done for that one. And it's a 2-touch situation for Lisper, a death by a 10,000 cuts for Scarf. And ouch, ouch, ouch.
Yeah, what about 2-touch situation? That was, I think, just exactly 10 seconds of a round. Oh, not even 9 seconds of a round, just an absolute speed run, where in these situations, Scarf still has to play pretty fast, has to commit to quite some movement here. Chipp does run fast, has some low committal normals, but the really big openers that can lead to some significant conversions does require a bit more of yourself to commit into it. And if Lisper gets the call out correctly, you get to see some speed runs.
Yes, on either way of the life bar. That needs to be said. I know that Lisper is the one that can do the fastest speedrun. Any percent Chipp's life is, I think, probably something that Goldlewis can do in a GIF, but Scarf can only put on a speedrun, even if it's a speedrun to 99 hits.
Here we go, beautiful air to air here, just taking advantage of the situation where Lisper most likely looking to control the airspace as the drone has got the ground covered. Nevertheless, don't get the hard knockdown, and immediately Lisper is straight to swinging, right? Using those security cancels to just layer on the chip damage. Now we just need that final touch here, but Hawk is not going to make this any easier. Already the super being thrown out, hard knockdown, a positive meter bonus running, building up that tension, and the anti-air. Unfortunately not able to get the full conversion here, but down to that last touch, and with the YRC bait, Lisper is going to find it.
Yeah, and beautiful call there by Lisper on that 6P, getting that counter hit. That was nutty, my friend. And now, Lisper. I don't say that that's the dominant position that's going to be pushed in a moment, even though Scarf has tension, yes, but that can be negligible depending on the situation.
Momentum looking pretty solid now for Scarf, a significant amount of life lead here, but as we've seen before, it can look a little placebo. The amount of health that Scarf has is pretty much equivalent to about 2 touches. You can see already from that end here the amount of damage that Lisper was able to pull off.
Okay, Kiss of Death at least getting Scarf closer to Lisper, even though accomplished almost nothing. But now Lisper having access to Scarf, forcing a yellow. No more tension is not enough there to go for any other RC. Therefore, it's a very sticky situation for Lisper, for Scarf, and Lisper just takes advantage of it. That's a 2-0 for Lisper right now.
Very scary for Scarf to make some plays in here, because already Lisper has demonstrated the ability to get some really solid reads against reversals attempted by Scarf. We saw the YRCs baited. Still, the beta blade has to be represented, but nevertheless, you guess wrong, and that's just that. So it might be a case that that's what's getting Scarf a little bit more apprehensive to try and interact through these situations. But you know, you gotta sympathize with him, because it's really difficult in the pilot seat to deal with a character like Goldlewis, who, you know, is just this titan of a character with so much health, great defense, able to tank a ton of hits and mix-ups, and ultimately just needs to get 2 solid guesses to close you out.
Exactly, it's a thing that you only need to get 1 touch. Well, you need the fact that your opponent needs to get 1 touch and you have to just send continuous damage is not funny, but it's the name of the game, and now Scarf is playing it. It's just putting Lisper onto the corner, laying the pressure in their butts. Lisper managing to find a foothold. That's going to be a good couple of typhoons, managing to lay those, but still getting a lot of damage put in, and oh my god, that boost could not have come any sooner.
Already a good amount of pressure, keeping him trapped in the corner, using a lot of that tension just to FD and not suffer hip damage. But look at the patience, able to get that 2P end here yet again. Difficult as always to get a clean jump out from these Goldlewis situations. Now, Lisper on that point, it's universe available, and already with the first touch, very hard. Scarf needs to make these situations count. The wise water starts here just to make sure that it's Lisper and went the money.
Okay. It's going to be the break. Yeah, break with the super, getting that BMB that we can call it. That knockdown and positive. Grab. Pressure is there, but Lisper trying to contest. There is the boost into the Kiss of Death. That's going to be a reposition. And not that much, just block, take advantage, kill Lisper. Burst a little bit, an overreach there.
A bit too heroic, yeah, I agree. We'll see how that pays off into this next round, as approaching about that 50% mark where I can start accessing some of the first additional mechanics. Scarf first on deck already, trying to set up some mix-ups. Unfortunately, overshoots a little bit here, and just like air-to-air, excellent conversion for the Thunderbird, base the burst, and this is the home run that Lisper was looking for. 3-0, matching PataChu as one of the few to be able to pull this off in his top age. Going to go and face off against the man himself in the grand finals.
That was nuts at the end. Clean pickup, block the. I don't know if that was a full bait or just that you know that's going to come, just block it and then immediately say, well, see ya. But man, that was a delete moment if I ever seen one.
It's a tough one for sure, but it's just kind of the nature of Chipp, right? This is probably one of the more natural predators to the character, where the effects of being a death by 1,000 cuts type of damage dealer rearing its head against a character that can take 1,000 cuts and then some, all the while taking some guesses here and there with some crazy buttons to stop some of your movement, right? Especially the way that Lisper has been anti-airing, catching Scarfed off guard, and being able to get a clean air hit like that can set up for some really, really crazy conversions off of the Behemoth Typhoons, as we saw with the speed run amount of damage that he was dealing.
Yeah, I agree, but this is going to be the grand finals, and before that, I would like to remind everybody that we still have our codes. Exclamation point machine on chat. And we still have what, 8 codes remaining? That's nothing. Everybody, this is nothing. This is only 8 codes, and we can do them in a jiffy. We don't even need to go that hard. We are like what, 80 people. We have 10 more people in the chat that there are codes. So please go there, just claim those. It's easy. It's 1, 2, 3. Click the link, log in, claim code.
Right, so interesting to see how this is going to play out for PataChu versus Lisper, as Lisper has already been demonstrating that he's been quite a menace, especially against characters that are at times kind of low damage. It depends on their conversions and the hits that they're acquiring, but as we've talked about before, Sin, thanks to the alternative or the additional resource of the stamina bar, is able to push a bit more damage than most, as well as corner carry. So that could be a very nice factor dealing with Goldlewis to get past, how durable of a character he is, as well, of course, just having a very comfortable range to play at that just makes it a little bit tricky for Goldlewis to actually leverage the size of Behemoth Typhoon, right? The compensate for the size is, of course, the speed of the buttons, and Sin doesn't have to worry about that all too much.
Yeah, that's true. The advantage of range, the natural killer of Goldlewis, but remember everybody, Wild Assault still exists. It's not easy to break the drones, and Skyfisher is nuts right now, so you can't always rely on the range, so you still need to approach, and if you approach, well, you are in the big boy domain. It's going to be interesting, another one of being on the razors, but this time PataChu can take more hits than Scarf could. Damn.
Alrighty. Both players ready to go. Into the match are grand finals of this evening. Lisper, Goldlewis making a deep run all the way from the loser's side, and PataChu with such a confident and dominating performance thus far. Still though, the rounds that he's been playing out has been pretty close at times, but nevertheless has had the clutch factor to consistently get those 3-0 finishes.
Not even letting the intros roll. Okay.
They've seen enough. Backdashing, playing it nice and slow, right? Seeing if they get these openings and just like that. Clean touch, but oh, hold on. A rare moment of not quite getting the conversion properly there, so no wall break.
No worry. That's strange indeed, but good use of that range advantage, stifling a couple of attempts there from Lisper to set up shop, but it's working there, and PataChu right now on the receiving end of the Goldlewis special, and that was telegraphed, my friend. That was telegraphed. And look at chat. This is what Lisper had to do. Lost on top 32, 7 matches on losers. Those are a lot. That's almost an extra bracket. that Lisper had to go through to get onto the grand final.
Really pushing Lisper in towards the corner. Finds an opportunity to just break away and gets the cross up like that, swapping the sides over, pushing PataChu back into the Thunderbird, trying to put the pressure up and dancing around some of these longer pokes that PataChu is looking to fish for the 6-speed counter hit, and of course the RC just to make the conversion a little bit easier as well as secure this side swap. Now, Lisper back towards the wall, has a bit of health left, but finds the air dash out, the opening secured, the PRC for an extended combo. PataChu living for the time being, but after that last touch, it's going to be tricky to make it happen here, but opening burst is going to be used.
Yeah, hero burst, immediately going for that kiss of death, trying to get the situation, but PataChu finessing there a burst, so both there's no burst. A slight advantage for Lisper. And onto the final lives of this round. Crazier situations haven't been seen in a while. Okay, PataChu trying to lock down Lisper onto that corner, but Lisper is going to say nay. Tries to get the party started. There's the Thunderbird. Oh, Typhoon blocked by the yellow.
Oh my goodness, Skyfish. You see, that's the risk of letting the far slash rock at times, especially with the gun on Goldlewis's dispense, to be able to just stop you from swinging all willy-nilly now. It's trapped in the corner. You see PataChu surviving for the most part, but don't have a whole lot of health left, especially with that burst. But we still just let the Honk Baker rock now to find the next opening to get the finish. It's outside of the 2P range. We can see that Lisper is willing to challenge. 2S catches. But unfortunately, no conversion, and the delay PRC delayed a little too much here as Lisper's 2P is able to find the mark, taking that first game.
And Lisper was waiting for the situation. Could be seen before, trying to fish with those 2Ps, with that elbow, trying to find those gaps at the end. Found that one. So takes a game out of PataChu, and with that the advantage on these grand finals, and PataChu right now thinking a little bit. Recollecting and immediately changing on to the Lucy.
Interesting, because we talked about damage conversion ability from Sin being really great and a potential strong factor going up against Goldlewis, but now just opting, still Lucy has that range. Conversion's a little lacking, but speed might be what he's playing at here, as well as some of the hack installs that he's able to put onto to Lisper. But at the same time, you gotta be careful.
I think that's a moment that that you are valuing more speed and range than conversion capability, even though, yeah, the shock is good. But the fact that you can control a little bit more than half screen with some normals, something that you couldn't do with that Sin. I think it's preferred right now, because we've seen how Lisper plays, and you can let Lisper get near you. PataChu going for the super, not enough to kill, but gets that wall break.
The hard knockdown here. Now just keeping the pressure up, and oh, what a mash out there. Down with the system, able to blow through the pressure here. Lisper, as always, seeing the health total that he's at, willing to make the call out to say, you know what, if this doesn't work, I'll die, sure, but if it works, I'll die. Seems fair to me.
It is, and now we are going for what? Wonderful Contagion, because why not?
I mean, quadruple contagion is definitely really, really strong into big bodies who have this crazy defense, as if you're able to keep the hits going, you're going to be taking this unscaled ticking damage that makes put Lucy on the higher end of damage even.
Oh, but that's not a position that PataChu would like to be. It had to pop burst, because that was a missed DP, which means that Lisper can play again. There's another Wild Assault connecting. Typhoon hitting.
Oh my
2-0 for Lisper. What's going on?
Now, Lisper has been playing with some really, really solid momentum on his end there. Consistently calling out a lot of these plays, able to get these touches that also convert quite neatly into a lot of damage. It's a very scary situation, but taking a peek over at the stream matches here, the question is being raised whether or not Lisper does play on Wi-Fi.
I mean, that can be sus, and
Mankind.
just remember, everybody, we require wired connection, LAN connection.
Power lines excluded.
I mean, mine is technically a wired connection, so shut up. No, but yeah, you need to be physically connected to the router through any means, not through the air.
I hope that's not the case on Lisper's end, as he's definitely having the run of his life at the moment here, already putting PataChu at reset door. He needs to secure the last 2 rounds, but PataChu is making do with what he can, a little bit on the life disadvantage, trying to respect the Thunderbird, but of course puts him very quickly onto the danger state, and that screen position conceded over to Lisper, just immediately chasing down and finding that last opening to put himself on reset point.
Yeah, that's not good for PataChu trying to get the damage rolling, but Lisper is not letting another Thunderbird getting eaten by PataChu. That's kind of sus in my opinion. PataChu should not be able to hit those, but and now Lisper is just putting on the damage.
Yeah, that last touch is going to be just a Herculean task to make this comeback happen. Of course, being able to get Contagion when possible is going to do a lot of work. But yeah, at this point, trying to go for the burst there to see if maybe he can get a little bit of a reprieve, but at the same time, he's positioned for Lisper to just be able to take it slow, block, even if maybe that's something that PataChu doesn't go for. The odds are just severely stacked against PataChu in that moment.
Yep, which means that we are going to the reset. It's not something I was expecting, and I think we're going to be waiting a little bit. PataChu raising the questions onto the stream matches chat. So let's see what's going to happen. As of right now, we are on the reset match.
The thing is, it's a very specific question. Oh, he is on Wi-Fi.
Oh, well, yep. Well, I mean,
that is that's a very painful moment of having not read the rule set, because let's see, how does this resolve, because it's going this far into the bracket.
No, that's just straight the queue.
Yeah, but I mean, I see at least giving the option over to be able to plug in to play out the rest of the set, but yeah, if that's not possible, then rules are rules.
At this point, taking in consequences of everything that just happened on the bracket, you cannot offer a wire. That's on my opinion. That's not the opinion of this TO. Okay, personal opinion of myself. Seeing how the bracket has progressed and to a point that is grand finals, the moment
I can understand that it sucks for people having played into Lisper, not realizing that it's on Wi-Fi, but the thing is, right, it's on the players to call it out, right? So if people are playing it out, not making a remark of it, then it is what it is. So technically, even though Lisper is not playing according to the rules, right, at the same time, people not having reacted to it or raised the question, right, does excuse him for the most part. And it's just an unfortunate case, but like it's definitely due diligence that if the connection isn't feeling right, make sure to call it out, right? Don't try to thug it out, don't try to tough it out, because ultimately it can cause to just a little bit more headache, where it's just like we get this far into grand final, somebody that shouldn't be participating in the first place makes it this year, so it kind of just upends the whole narrative. Yeah, I mean, it's like, see, it's on both ends. Like, at this point, people are justified to be annoyed about it, but at the same time, people should have felt something was off, made a call out, and then tried to resolve it that way. And, you know, I can't, though you can kind of fault Lisper for intentionally going into the bracket, having not read the rules. And on the other hand, right, it's like, him making it this far, it's also on the players for not trying to keep track of the rules all the same. You know, the assumption that everybody is following it is nice, but it can still happen.
Yeah, it's a little bit on everybody at this point. PataChu has done the correct thing of just saying it, but I don't know what's going to happen right now. We are still on a little bit of a limbo, so it's a little bit of a podcast moment, which is not something that we, in a moment that we are not enjoying. The game was nice, but then it's tainted. It's getting weird in not the best way possible. If you know what I am going for, right?
Yeah, I do wonder, because like you're always just pointing out in chat that the only way you can probably accurately recognize if somebody's on Wi-Fi is by the indicator that they provided in ranked matches. But I'm curious in general if people have not felt the case of like, hey, this connection doesn't feel right. Like, I'm not able to respond or see, or things don't move as it would against a wired player.
Okay, and then Andros putting a point on a lot of rollback. I mean, yeah, and then I agree on Ice that they should have put enough goddamn indicator on lobbies. They already put one for ranked, which is good. It's something that you should do, but then the organizer Alexis knows that all the tournaments are played in lobbies.
Yeah.
I mean, offline doesn't count because it's fucking offline, but they are putting online tournaments, qualifiers for their goddamn World Tour on online tournaments, and everybody plays on lobbies. The moment that they rolled out the we are adding the connection indicator on rank, roll that one on lobbies.
Well, now we're just, I'm trying to see what the conclusion is of all this, because Lisper has only been responding in one-word answers, which isn't really, if it's clear whether or not they'll be able to find a cable to play out the rest of the set, or if it's just going to be a DQ angle. The thing is, like, Son also made the point where, you know, I think like with Wi-Fi, you get the Shiki Nanaya meme where it's like it's okay if you're next to the router, which, you know, it isn't, but sometimes it may be doable. It may be fine. It may be slightly off, but at the same time, right, like even on wired connections, things may not always feel ideal.
Ooh, I am not liking the way it's going, and do you want to call it, or do we wait till I am waiting till Ice says anything right now?
Yeah, we're just waiting on what the Ice response is, and then that will be the case. In the meantime, I'm just discussing the ethics of people playing against the rules and only being called out substantially later into the bracket run.
And yes, Technot says Wi-Fi has packet loss. I mean, all technologies has packet loss, but the fact that Wi-Fi is not wired, goes through the air, and therefore there's more noise, is a liability. And yes, modern Wi-Fi is better. You can game perfectly on Wi-Fi, but for things that require finesse or very tight margins, it's not something that is doable on this stage. We are playing frame by frame, aren't we?
Yeah, it's the case of like compared to something like
MobdoM.
League of Legends, where you could get away with a few packet losses where it's not too bad. There's like just a lot of responses going back and forth. The game isn't entirely played out frame by frame, so you have this error, this margin of error. But compared to fighting games where yes, things are determined by frames per second, right? So every last one counts, and if things are skipping around by just the occasional packet drop, or packet loss, excuse me, then you do get problems very, very quickly, and it can be very frustrating. So, in general, the little bit of discrimination you get from identifying Wi-Fi players with the icons where possible, of course, saves a lot of headache for people that are setting up the ideal condition of a cabled connection. Because what you do get is that the cable connection is just far more stable, sending a clean 100% packets in, unless there's like a greater problem with just the router itself. And to the Wi-Fi player, they're having a grand old time, right? Like everything is looking great. But to the Ethernet player with the occasional packet drops, that's when things start skipping around. Similarly, you had the case of PC players playing PlayStation 4 players in Street Fighter 5, where the console would start to overheat and lag, right? Which would introduce packet loss by the fact that it's not able to perform the same amount of hardware cycles. I think it just like something in it doesn't clock right, but nevertheless, the PS4 player is having a grand old time. Nothing's wrong, but the PC player is just like, what is going on my screen?
Yeah, it's.
I think for me, Tio, I think it's taking too long now with the cable thing, and I think breaking the rules, not reading rules, stuff like that, is not great, obviously. So I think for today, because I don't think it's fair for PataChu either to have to wait for that long. I do think we should just call it and say PataChu gets the W, even though it sucks. But
Right.
it is, because yeah. Again, we
Lesson
waited
learned.
quite a long time for it. Because also I would have to do connection tests to check stuff like that, and it's gonna take like 10 more minutes maybe, and it's a bit much. So because it is already quite late, and even though again it really sucks, it is the rules, so it's not really.
Yeah, tap sign, it's there for all to read, and if it's not read, then
not and they say in Latin. I don't know the Latin, but not knowing the law doesn't exempt you from the law.
Yeah, exactly. It is in the rules. I think it's in every single tournament, so it's not really new. And again, it is something you should always read before going into a tournament. So yeah, I think we just it really sucks, but I think we're just gonna call it today. Say that's a DQ. Because again, since the previous set was also played on Wi-Fi, that should technically be called back and everything like that, and we would have to restart the entire set, stuff like that, which is not good. So again, calling it today, but it's good if we could have a cabled connection for next time for Lisper, definitely. And that's very anticlimax, but gotta follow the rules because the rules are the rules. Right.
all right.
Okay, so anticlimactic, yes, but that's how the cookie crumbles at the end. So it is what it is, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep,
if you want to take anything from this, if you enter a tournament and there's a place that says rules, at least take a look at them. Most of the time they are going to be pretty much nothing, except the important one that says play on a cable connection.
True. I mean, I just read the rules in general. A lot of people are seasoned participants, but they're there for a reason, and thankfully they do exist, because at the very least, like, the TO can just tap sign and be like, rules are rules. But yeah, unfortunate way to end it all. It was definitely an interesting run for Lisper, but between the variety of connection qualities between players, it's hard to say how bad the run is, but nevertheless, impressive to see the Goldlewis performed to that degree. So I do genuinely hope that Lisper is able to come back next week or the next time that Strive gets run with a wide connection, and that we get to once again see his performance on the right footing.
Yeah, we hope that next. I mean, it's not a ban from the tournaments. Just this one DQ happens. For the next time, Lisper is very much welcome to come back as long as they pack a wire connection. If not,
Yeah, absolutely. And just like, yeah, sure, right. I do feel like, as I said before, it should have been called earlier. Regardless, right? You should always call. Anything feels weird. It's not an issue for the TOs. That's I would very much always love that people just call stuff right away, because then we avoid stuff like this. It's believe me or not, it's actually not the first time it's happened in the grand finals, and it just fucking sucks, right? But in the end, it is the rules. The rules are the rules, and I think that is, again, the thing you gotta remember is that the rules are the rules, and you gotta follow the rules. You gotta read the rules, and if you break the rules, you break the rules. It's like that. If you guys watch the Olympics, right? It's like those the Canadian curling team cheating and being found out, and they're like, "Oh no, we cheated," but we only cheated because they looked. it's like that kind of thing. Yeah.
Wasn't that because the Swedish guys asked the Swedish corporation to film from another angle?
Yes, which was very funny. But it's the same thing, right? Like, it is, at the end of the day, still breaking the rules. But I do think that it should be checked immediately, regardless. Yes, I do agree.
Yeah.
In the grand finals, though, you do have the opportunity that it is at the beginning of the second set you test, right? Even though I don't necessarily agree with the timing on that, but rules are rules. In the end.
Yeah.
I'm just stalling, by the way, because I'm making the top 8 thing. I was expecting to have more time.
We can do some shilling. I guess at the very end, right, just get some more Matcherino codes claimed, right, for, I guess, appease PataChu a little bit, because definitely it's a very frustrating experience for him. As somebody that's in apex of competition for Strive, definitely wants to enjoy it at its minimum desirable playable state, But other than that, offline season slowly starting to be re-announced, right? We are technically concluding with the AWT finals in March over in Seoul, Korea. So definitely be prepared to watch that. A lot of people are preparing co-streams for that. So it's definitely going to be very interesting if you have your specific brand of people or entertainer you want to watch that through. Definitely keep an eye out for that. I know the French always get up to some pretty quality production stuff around this. And I know there's some people in Germany also planning some, speaking of Germany, Essen Crash also announced. Definitely take a gander at that. I will be attending Essen Crash, so hope to see some people over there. Come say hi. It'll be a pleasure to catch y'all in Europe once again. And of course, other exciting events are also on the horizon. Right, VSF also got their save the dates. No doubt we're likely to expect UFA make a return. Headstomper, Ace, Headstomper, Ace. But he's tight-lipped. This guy is too good.
Saying nothing.
He says absolutely nothing. Brutal. But yeah, definitely take a look out for these different events. I am most certainly going to Hessen Crash. Definitely looking out to VSF, Headstomper, UFA. Button check for anybody that wants to pull up to a little Czech regional. It's definitely very fun over there. And just a few American events I'll be still heading out to this year. So definitely like to see some of the NA side. That's all for me.
Also known as go to your locals, go to your majors, go to offline.
Yeah. If online situations, wired or not, frustrate you, offline is the place to be.
Yeah, just go to any offline, even if it's in your go meltdown, go to the quedadas if you are in Varna. This weekend we have one until 1 a.m. at a bar, so you're going to see me there. Oh my god, from 3 p.m. to 1 a.m.
Sleep well before.
Nope. Sleeping is for losers, and I'm going to go straight from playing cards to playing to the bar. I mean, I have to take some advantage of my fucking weekends. If not, I'm going to kill myself.
Ooh.
Right, I think I got it now. Oh, wait. I don't know. Where is Meltdown actually?
London.
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 I know there's one. If you are interested about Meltdown, there is one that's like I think generally agreed upon by a bunch of people. It happened last year. Like everyone was like, "Yeah, this is the Meltdown." A bunch of international people go to. And Craig can definitely verify that.
I think it's the one that the Swedes went.
Yeah, there were some people from the Netherlands that went as well. So,
Yeah, it's
if you want to go to the big Meltdown, right? Because the UK scene very strong. Definitely peep the date that a lot of people decide to go from abroad.
Or you can do like me, just check the webpage of the Meltdown, say, yeah, there's Strife, just drop there because you can, and that's what I did and met everybody else.
Yeah. Should also, my monthly actually. I think we're also looking into doing something a little bit bigger at some point to entice international people to come there. I think it would be like something Meltdown sized, like looking at maybe 100 people or something total. I don't know how big Meltdown is. I'm just talking out my ass. But like
It's the regional size.
Yeah, I mean it's not that big, 30-40, and you're packed.
Yeah. Regionals are cool though. That's definitely where the majors are neat for like the big spectacle of it, but regionals is where you got the keynote soul of fighting game players.
See, it always kind of surprised me because our monthlies is usually actually a little bit bigger than that. I think, but just like Danish players. Denmark wins again, baby.
No, but that's because that's a monthly in a sense. That you are only hosting that once a month. If you're hosting that a little bit more regularly, then you're going to start seeing less people.
Our weeklies has like 20-30 people.
I say a bit bi-weekly is probably the best in a sense for that range.
Yeah, we usually have like again like 20 to 30 for weeklies, and then for monthlies we have like between. It depends a lot, like around 45 to 60, I would say, for monthlies. Which is for Denmark is quite nice actually.
I mean, take into account that you are like 7 million people, not bad.
Yeah. It's like every single player in Denmark almost going. But I won't hold you up any longer. Here's our debate again. Super unfortunate ending, but it just gotta be how it is, you know. It's like gotta follow the rules. It sucks, but rules are rules. Can't really skimp on that. Alright. That being said, we are gonna rate somebody. Oh, if you get like 30 just for Strive, I mean like in total for all games, because I think Tekken is like our most Tekken and Rivals 2. Those are our most popular games. Denmark has like a really big Smash community. Oh, nice. Who is online of the homies? Yes. We could go raid Damascus, maybe?
Wait, is Gecko Scroll still alive? I saw him playing.
Oh, Gecko Scroll is playing the Blaze Blue game.
Yeah. Raid Gecko Scroll, do it.
We can do that.
Yeah, let's go for Gecko.
Yeah, we go.
Put him on Blaze Blue entropy effect.
Alright. So always a dramatic day on Mondays. Yeah. Have a good one, everyone. Enjoy your week. We'll be back tomorrow with some Xrd. So, peace out.
See ya.